You're listening to TF4 Podcast with Marcus.
Let's turn out the lights and play Who's in My Mouth.
Cara.
Did you notice that your sausages were arranged to look like a penis?
Natasha.
I didn't cheat on you. My penis did.
Oh my God. In box. 11:01. Eating dick for breakfast.
No, but that reminded me of my mom and her mom dancing last night.
Oh my God. Cara's TikToks, I was just like, oh God. It was bad.
TikToks or Snapchats?
Snapchat, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you saw the one with my mom?
Your mom and Mark's mom.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you get drunk white people at a R&B show.
Wasty
Yeah.
pants.
Yes, that's it.
That was literally
With
like
boys
80%
into
of the
men.
crowd.
Oh, I found it. Okay, I found the reason why I wanted to talk about it.
Okay.
I got it.
Save it, and we'll do it from there.
I'll forward it to you.
Welcome back to the infamous and most popular podcast in the world,
Oh my gosh, yes.
TF4, with Vox.
Marcus.
Cara.
And Natasha.
It's been so long since we've done that.
I like that pause there where people. I like that pause there.
Yeah, where's
where,
the little
where we-
applause button? Come on.
There was a nice pause where they could have believed that we replaced Natasha, and it was like a surprise guest at the end.
Yeah. When was the last time we actually posted an episode?
2019.
No, 2020.
2020.
No.
Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
we didn't
Oh, we
post.
didn't
We did.
May-
Yeah.
So we did live streams in
Yes.
2020.
So our last episode was May 28th of 2019. And
What?
that is so crazy to me. We did do the
we did
quarantine
do
stream, the
quarantine
quarantine streams or whatever the fuck we called it.
Quarantine stream.
Yeah, the quarantine specials, which we did like 10 of those, I think.
We did. We were doing it like once a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we
For a
did
long
10
We had
total.
fun.
What is? Oh yeah, for sure. And so that was really fun that we did, but you guys were still up far away from us in a town that we won't name. But now you're so close to us in
Yeah,
a town we won't name.
A lot of things have changed.
We now live 3 minutes away from you.
And not to
So
mention
nice.
that you're fucking married.
Oh yeah, we're married.
We're
which is-
married?
You what?
Yeah.
You heard you what?
When did this happen?
Because this is always funny
Well,
because
Tosh and I had a moment together, and
stop it. There's this thing that just happens called time, and a lot of that passed. So,
Time after time.
so
2.5 years.
Yeah, that's
It's been a little while.
Wild to me.
Just a minute. Just one quick minute.
But for long-time listeners of the show, you know who we are, and that's
we were
great.
engaged the last time we were streaming.
Yeah,
Were we?
yeah, because we did the announcement on the quarantine.
We were supposed
Oh,
to get
yeah.
married right before we quit
'cause
streaming.
you guys
Actually,
'cause
like
you had to delay it.
yeah, we had
Thanks,
a- we had a
COVID.
cancel wedding.
Honestly, though, your guys' wedding was so much fun. I
It
know I
was.
tell you guys this, but I'll always look over the pictures that are on our fridge,
Aw.
and I was like, I had such a great time.
I
We
know.
were
I remember.
So drunk.
It was a good time. I saw
Tosh was
Cara
tearing
for
it up
all
on
of
the
like
dance floor.
She was tearing
saw
everything.
Cara for all of like a
Just
half
tearing
hour
up
that
that
night.
pizza.
Yeah, right. That's when you guys said I do, and kissed, and then walked
Yeah, I
away.
was
No, that
literally
was- that
like,
was
I
5 minutes.
asked other people, I was like, when you guys got married, were you like together the entire night? And they're like, oh yeah, definitely. And I'm like, I haven't even seen Mark since we got married.
And what's funny is I talked to Mom P and she was like, so where's your wife? I'm like, I don't know. She's been gone for like an hour.
But we covered more ground that way. Well,
You know what?
Sort of.
You told me, you made me promise that we would go and say thank you to every single person there. I think we did it separately. It's
we
fine.
did. We introduced the family to our friends that were with us at the time that we saw them.
That's 100% what happened, actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met a bunch of like random people there.
I made like a bunch
people's
of random
parents
friends
and-
there
Yeah.
too. Like people
Both of
that
you
I-
gained like 30 Facebook friends.
Yeah.
that
Ross
night
didn't realize how like famous he was with our family.
Oh my god!
because of the podcast.
Talk about how like strange that was too. Like every time I introduced, because you know me, I'm just like I got 2 beers in me, so now I'm happy. And I was introducing myself to everyone, and they're like, "Oh, you're that guy."
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, you're
like,
Vox.
what
I
does
know
that
Vox.
mean?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means. I want to do just a quick few things because I know we're gonna tangent this whole thing.
A little bit of housekeeping.
So we're gonna hear some fun noises because we're doing a new setup. So if you just heard my computer beep boop, that's one of the things.
And some not so fun
Uh,
noises.
Yeah. Oh. And
You're
we're
supposed to
gonna hear-
tell him so he can meet you.
She got away with it. It'll be all right. Kara's sick, so that's great. But she doesn't have COVID.
All of your fault,
And
literally.
we'll actually get into that in a minute. Tasha's still drinking, so that's awesome.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Damn.
and that's also awesome. we're not going to do any of the crazy plugs. If you've been a long-time listener to the show, you know that you can follow us on Facebook and all that other jazz. So we're going to get over that real quick. I do want to just say, though, that to address the state of the show, we don't know what we're doing yet. We're back at the table, and that's where we're at.
We're here right now.
Yeah, we would love to continue doing this, and it probably will happen, but we don't want to say it's going to happen every single week, and this is going to be our schedule, and blah, blah, blah. If you see them uploaded, they're
we're
uploaded.
planning on recording when we can record,
Right.
and we'll give it out to you whenever we can.
Yes.
I know
You'll
that
get it
like
when you get it.
yeah,
And you'll like it.
I know
That's what
that
Mark used to say about sex.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, exactly. You know what? You're right. But I know the rule number 1 for content creation is be consistent, and I'm sorry, we can't. We're 4 adults who have to get together.
Also, what he used to say about sex.
Hey, 5 minutes is consistent every time, okay?
Oh boy, there's gonna be some fun ones in this one. Other thing, I got asked already, and I know this is a shout out to Dustin because I know he's just ready to listen and contribute. But as
Love
far as
him.
the Patreon goes, hopefully we'll have it re-uploaded soon, and we'll be able to have contributing listeners.
And we can expect some Patreon exclusive content. this
Yeah,
time around.
because good segue right into my next thing. We're not on Apple Podcasts anymore because fuck Apple.
Wah, wah.
As far as I'm concerned with podcasts, listen, you know, both of you know that we're Apple shills, if you will.
Yep.
We love Apple, but the issues that have come up in podcasts in the recent years is that there's a lot of copyright things that were happening, and you have to get reconfirmed, and then there's even like a subscription thing for $20 a year to get your stuff on not to get your stuff onto it, but just to guarantee that you're not plagiarizing or posting things that you don't have rights to, which we do often.
Yes.
So we're probably not going to be on Apple, but you can find us on our website, and you can find us on, drumroll please, Spotify, which we had such a hard time getting on before we were
Yep.
officially on Spotify.
It was easy this time around.
And it was super easy. It was crazy.
You can
I
also still
finally
find us on
caved.
YouTube.
And on iHeart.
I finally
And on
caved
iHeart.
on the camping or on the drive up north, and I gave in, and I pay for Spotify now.
Good
Vox
for
has been,
you.
Good job.
Vox has been
Good for
shit.
you.
I can listen to so much stuff
And here's the
now.
other thing. Total.
More
We're going to rant
wasted
on
money.
Spotify again. No, listen. You can do 2 people within the same household for $2 more than one person is what we do. It's $12.99.
Well,
So
maybe we
you
should do
could
that.
listen to it as
Now I'm
well.
gonna ruin your Spotify playlist.
There
No,
you have your
you
own.
have your own
It's
account.
your own thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I already have a Spotify account. I
See?
just don't pay for it.
Well, now you just have to go online, sign up for the dual
Link up,
thing,
tell them we're married.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Give them your address, and you're good. Which
Yeah,
is
no,
awesome.
if
I
that
don't
was
wanna
the
give-
case,
why would
Vox
I
would
need to
not
give
be
Spotify my
with
address?
me.
Because they want to make sure that you're under
On
the same.
Spotify.
Thieves
Yeah, whatever.
'Cause
They
I
are.
would
They already
ruin
know where you
his-
live.
trying to steal my information.
Yeah.
Playlist.
I
Also,
need Tasha's playlists.
one last thingy is going along with the Patreon exclusive stuff because I wanted to mention more about that. Is we do a lot of games, we do a lot of music stuff, and if you want to listen to that, that will eventually be Patreon exclusive stuff because we don't want to get copyright stricken for anything. So
Yeah,
that
we'll get kicked off of YouTube real quick for any music stuff. We'll get kicked
Yeah.
off of
Spotify
real quick for
even,
any music
all that
stuff.
Even though we use Spotify to stream all their shit on here, it's just
Mhm.
one of those things. So, anyways, we're back. This is technically our 3rd year of the show. So,
Yeah.
so year 3, even though it's been almost
Almost
that
5.
long, almost that long since we've podcasted. But here we are. So we'll get right into it with how Kara got a cold. Is where I think we should start. So tell us, how are you feeling? First of all, did you take a test? Not that
Well, I
people
feel
need to
like
know.
shit.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
so you're Bo Burnham. Got it.
Big
Yeah.
old sack
Big
of
fan.
bag of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wake up at 11:30, feeling like a bag of shit.
Thank you.
I wish I could wake up at 11:30.
I know, right?
Oh my god, that'd be so nice.
It's
Mhm.
the song
Even
is
if
in
I
my-
had the day off, my body would not let me
Same.
wake up at
Same.
11:30.
Yeah. Wow. We're like
So how did you get sick, Cara? Tell us.
Well, when 2 people like each other.
so
Mark?
so you had sex with Mark and now you're sick.
It wasn't Mark.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Yes, it was. I got sick from Mark. I thought I got sick from Stacy at work, but
Well, Stacy
She-
got pneumonia, and you did not.
Is Stacy going to be a new listener to the show?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Oh.
Maybe.
Well, Stacy, hello if you're listening.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Emily might want to come on here though.
Emily,
We're
will
gonna
definitely
She
have-
gets
be
really
listening.
excited about stuff like this.
A huge roster of guests, I think. Are gonna
Yeah.
She
be
has
flowing
to
through.
listen though.
Yeah, it's
before
the
she
rule.
can be on.
We're gonna keep the rules.
But
Okay.
anyways,
And-
Cara
sorry,
got sick
yeah.
from me.
I think, and I wasn't sure
Hang
what I
on.
was feeling
The
at all.
day I
anyways.
started feeling better, you started feeling awful.
Yeah.
But it
with
freaked
the
me out
same
because
symptoms.
people at work started feeling sick.
True.
And you
but
know how that goes right now
Oh,
with
yeah.
everything still going on.
you can't
people
fart
start
without
freaking
people
out.
freaking out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So then everybody was freaking out and stuff. And then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do a freaking telehealth thing. I called her. I gave her my symptoms. She's like, it sounds like it's sinusitis.
Exactly what I did.
So-
it was an upper respiratory infection
Yeah.
deal, and yeah.
She's like, here's a nasal steroid and keep taking Sudafed. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
my
sweet.
my coworkers didn't even glance at me when I started coughing,
Right.
and like one of them was like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just a cold." I'm like, "Are you sure?" I'm like,
Oh, boy.
"Positive,
Well,
So-
so you're positive.
positive. I'm sure it is a cold."
Oh, you're okay. Got it.
Uh,
Just clarifying here.
but no, I got it. I actually got it right after you started feeling poopy.
What?
Yeah,
We hung
Weird how
out
that
like
works,
around
eh?
that time, didn't
Yeah,
we?
literally, like
The night that I didn't want to, I was like, I'm going to stay home and
Yeah.
take some time for me.
Yeah. And then Mark was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come over."
remember
for 4
how
hours.
remember how you guys attended that super spreader event?
It wasn't though.
No.
Did you see the
No.
headlines? It
They
was.
I thought they came out with sprinklers and germs, and they were just like, psh, psh,
Well,
psh,
everyone
psh,
was
psh.
everyone was
just sneezing
All we
and
were
spitting in
doing
one
was
area.
making out with strangers. I don't know what super spreader means.
I know, right?
They said though that this event that I don't know if it will be named is not a super spreader event, even though it was in Chicago with 406 or 20 or 320 or 360,000 people
Yeah.
in 4 days. So I mean,
Well,
Yeah,
that's-
but they said so. Okay, so I don't. I think that even if COVID were not a thing, and like never a thing, like 2018, I'm sure people went to 2018 Lollapalooza. We're gonna say it, and they came back sick
giant gasp.
100%
because
with
there are
herpes.
so
I
many
came back
people.
sick in 2016.
Right, there's so many people in the same area, and whether or not you're sick or not, you're still around so many people, and you know it's not the cleanest place. There's dirt everywhere,
Oh,
Yeah,
so
it's
you
like
must
India
be
down there.
inhaling the dirt.
It's like like kids. You go to like the Splash World or whatever, those indoor water parks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They come home that you're either gonna have pink eye or an ear infection almost all the time.
Because everyone's just pooping in the fucking pools.
Peeing
there.
Yeah, I mean I do.
Peeing.
So.
Fucking baby Ruths floating around.
Don't we
you
all?
know?
Ew.
But no, they said that. Didn't they say like 70% of people were vaccinated or something?
No, more than that, I believe.
How did they
was
get
the
those
final count.
statistics?
Well, they're IDing everyone.
Yeah, you either had to be vaccinated or you had to show a negative COVID test within the last 72 hours.
Yes.
Really?
Oh yeah, like you couldn't walk
were
in
strict
there,
about it.
and they were checking your vaccination cards.
I
or-
just laminated mine finally.
I know. I need to get mine.
But-
Aren't you not supposed to
But what
laminate
about the
it?
Delta variant?
No, you're not
Vox?
supposed. There's something
Oh
else you're not
Jesus!
supposed to laminate.
All right, listen.
Social security card.
I want to.
And vaccination card.
You
wanna
have to. Like
sidetrack
they
something.
won't reissue them.
They told me when I got it, they said do not laminate this.
They
Yeah.
told me to.
Yeah.
They told me to laminate mine.
No.
They're like,
No,
make sure you take
whatever.
care of it.
Who cares?
But I got mine at Walmart. You probably got yours at like a doctor's office or CVS or
The health
something. So,
department.
yeah,
Yeah, I got
so
mine through
diff-
work, so
but it's
The-
laminated
the
now.
the big thing. And son of a bitch, I'm sorry that these beep boops are popping up. That
Can't
happens.
you turn the sound off on that?
I don't really know. Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe. Here, actually.
Honestly, though, I know we got sick
There
and
we
we
go. Now
got
it's
some of
muted.
our friends sick, but we had a fucking blast.
I hope.
But it was worth
Yeah,
it.
It was
it's
so
worth
worth it.
I'm glad getting
So-
sick was worth it.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Listen, here's how I know it wasn't COVID, because I'm going to expose you. You're not vaccinated. So
No, I'm
you
not.
didn't get like you had a cold, right?
Yep.
And that was the
Right.
big thing. And your whole like, what about the Delta variant? I'm
I-
just.
It was
I
a
don't wanna
joke,
get
and you
super,
know it.
I know. I
Okay,
don't want to
but
get super
also-
political, but like, come on, like,
Dude, I am
we
not.
know if you're gonna.
I'm
get
not
COVID or
vaccinated. Clearly, I'm not panicking about COVID.
Right, I
Okay.
understand. I
when we
understand.
got home from Chicago, 2 of my coworkers' daughters both had sinus infections, and they had not been around me. So it's something that's going around.
What's going around? It's the allergies right now.
Guess
too.
what?
Right.
We're getting into fall. People get the flu.
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
feel
People
like
get
fall.
sinus
No
infections.
shit. I was just gonna say that too. I am so.
What do you
goddamn
mean?
sick
It's
of the
only
heat.
100
I
degrees
have
outside.
never.
It was
I
only
have
fucking
never
91
drenched
today.
like I told Mark it felt like somebody was running a hose over my
know.
head. I was pouring so much sweat. Like I think that somebody at work might have seen a lot of cleavage today because I had a tank top on under my t-shirt,
Just
and
flapping
I was
out.
actually working on the floor today. So I grabbed my t-shirt and I just picked it up and was like wiping my whole face off.
Oh God.
I mean, it doesn't
Giving
really matter.
everybody
to
a
me.
show.
I wanted to start a new segment called "What Pisses Vox Off," but I feel like that's this entire podcast.
Yeah, that's everything. That's life.
we don't have to talk about that. But I'm sick of the heat, and I'm sick of the fucking rain. So much so that I had not a nightmare, but a pretty lucid dream the other night about like rains flooding the entire earth, if you will. I started writing another book, if you will.
Yeah.
I've written like 2,800 words in 2 days, where I'm just like, I'm fucking sick of this
to
shit.
be fair, though, the rain,
Oh my
the
God.
rain is a personal issue with you because your house keeps flooding.
I know. Well, it's not like it's flooding, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not like pooling
But
water.
you have
but
rainwater coming
There's
into
water
your
entering
house.
my basement, and I'm just like, please fucking stop.
How can you tell that Vox is an artist? His art is anxiety driven.
It's all anxiety driven. It's like what you were saying with the stickers thing earlier
Yeah.
too. I'm like everything is just like just screaming constantly. Tosh the other day felt so bad because I'm just fucking spazzing out every time it
And
sprinkles.
there's nothing you can do when
No,
your anxiety's
nothing.
that high either.
Nothing.
Well,
Nothing at
I
all.
was out with my
Drink
friends,
beer.
and he's texting me, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Would you like me to come home?" He's like, "There's nothing you can do."
Yeah,
There's
there's just,
nothing.
And he's
There's
like
nothing.
texting me, and then he was like, "Where'd you go last night?" And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, I would have come out."
Yeah, because it was
Like,
after
but
the
you
rain
were,
had
you
passed.
were freaking out about the rain. Why? And then I felt really bad about not inviting him out, and I still feel really bad.
You know what? Like, there's nothing
he
you
never
can do
goes
to bring
out.
the anxiety down when
Or
it's
that.
that high. There really isn't. Kara's seen me get that bad where there's nothing you can do.
It's just wild.
The only thing you can do is just give him space.
I know. It's just
Like-
wild.
Well, I can't give him space when he's blowing my shit up.
It's not even
He
like
just
the-
needs.
like,
He just needs to
He
let
just
it out
needs- he
somewhere. He's
needs-
got to
yeah, he
get it
needs
out
to
in the
vent
world.
it.
It's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't need
I had like a full on fucking panic attack. I haven't had one of those in like over a decade.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Jesus.
yeah,
That's a
it
long
was
time.
it was bad. I got this wasn't even related to this getting sick. Like I just did not feel good one day,
Sure.
and I ended up like getting really really sick. Like got sick in the bathroom in a way that I've never gotten sick before.
Which
like,
end?
in my mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But it was
because when I
it's
get
never
that way,
been
I
that
just shit my
like
brains out.
messy, I guess is the way to put it. It's never been that crazy.
Holy
Violence.
shit.
So I was not feeling good. I felt so terrible because I had to call Mark back to come get me. We were driving separate. And he comes back, and then he's trying to talk to me. I don't feel good. Like I'm
You don't
just,
want to talk when you don't
right,
feel that well.
and
She flipped shit on me.
Oh yeah. I
and
bet.
yeah, I did end
it's
up
not all
starting
her
to blow
fault.
up, and then he was like, we were just arguing back and forth, or whatever. And then I started hyperventilating, and I was like, "You need to pull over the car." And we got up to like the Ford at 32 and Romeo Plank or
Oh,
whatever that Ford place.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had him
Elder
pull
Ford.
over, and I got out, and I literally had like full blown panic attack, just standing in the parking lot in the dark.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. And he was like, "Calm down, take a breath." And I'm like,
I kept telling
yeah.
her, in through your nose, out through your
I
mouth.
don't even
Go
know why.
slow.
What's wrong? I don't know. I
I didn't
do
ask
not
you what was
know
wrong.
what.
I did not ask you what was wrong. I knew what was wrong.
Yeah, right. Well, we can all tell you that, but geez. Well, how are you feeling now? I mean, aside from being sick.
We're alive.
We're getting better.
Okay.
We're both in
Slowly,
therapy.
one day at a time.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with
Separate therapy.
I love that she goes like, "So tell me about your marriage. What's going on in your marriage? Like, what problems are there?" And I'm like, "He's literally the only thing that's okay in my life."
He's like, that's the one good thing.
that. The whole it's like you're that little dog sitting in a room and Mark is that coffee cup and you're
Yeah.
just like, this is fine, but you're like sipping
Yes.
just a little bit of love that Mark gives you. That's
Yeah.
totally good. That's hilarious.
This
I
is
mean,
fine.
in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
Kind of an ironic way, right?
But no, actually, on a serious note, my mental health has not been this low in a long time. So I started going to therapy myself.
Cool.
I've stopped drinking. Other than yesterday, I had 2 beers.
Oh, how
We were at a
dare you.
concert,
Yeah,
and
right.
Casey was encouraging me. So peer
You
pressure,
encouraged
know.
my mom to.
Your mom
take her
encouraged
boobs
me
out,
to
so.
want to kill myself, so it's fine.
There you go.
Oh God.
Yeah, so you could just slap that right on there. Welcome back. to
Yeah,
TF4.
hi.
Well, regardless of the fact, I saw a therapist for a while, and I think that helped me because it's something that it's a third party, right? So it's something that you can sit down and vent to, or
yeah.
vent with,
We're
and you have no connection.
we have separate
Yeah.
therapists too, so
Well,
like
yeah,
we're
but-
having our own thing, doing our own thing, figuring out our own shit out.
When they make you think about stuff that you don't normally think about, and then you can, find the root of the problem, obviously.
And you know
Yeah.
what? My therapist said something that I think is completely true. She said that honestly, therapy can help anyone, and it's not just someone going through problems with mental health. It's not just someone who's going through a divorce or anything like that. You don't have to have any major life events that are giving you problems. Therapy can help you organize your mind.
Yeah, just like you didn't necessarily need anything in back when you're messaging Natasha about what's going on.
Yeah,
you just needed to get it out somewhere.
I just needed to express that I'm pissed that there's water soaking in my basement. The earth is pissing on me, and I'm not happy about it. So yeah, we got that. Not to totally shift it, but speaking of therapy, apparently the baby that is on the cover of Nirvana's Nevermind album needs lots of therapy now because he was exposed when he was an infant.
Child pornography,
as an infant. So that really hurt his mental health throughout.
I have questions though. I have questions.
Really though, like how?
So like when they take this to court for like his claims and stuff, are they being like, hey, we're gonna go through your parents' house and we're gonna take out every photo album, and we're gonna go through it to state that you were in a household where you did not have any photos taken, where you were just in a diaper, just in a diaper, just in like pants, you're topless, whatever. It was a boy, right?
It was a boy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you see
there was a little wiener.
You see his little willy on there,
So I just want to make this point, and I feel like this is a stone cold proof that this is not an actual issue with him. He has reenacted that photo at least 6 times.
Oh, yeah.
At least 5 times. And at least one of those times, he volunteered to do it nude, and the photographer told him no.
Right.
Hold on, Mark. Don't tell everybody that he was asking for it or anything.
Okay, but also, like, did Kurt Cobain run up to a stroller and steal a baby out of it and then throw him in a pool naked and then take a picture and then give him back?
For the
yeah,
photography.
sue your parents.
Yeah.
Right, like that. They didn't just steal this baby and take a picture
Speaking of Kurt Cobain, when asked about the cover of Nevermind, Kurt Cobain's quote was, "If you're sexualizing a child just because it's naked, you're a pedophile."
So here's another ironic
I didn't
thing.
even
That
realize-
rings true now with fucking pageant kids and shit,
I didn't
right?
even
Yeah,
realize it. Like, I showed the picture to Ray when she was doing my hair yesterday, and she was like, "Oh," and she like pointed out like his little peepee, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even realize it was in there." Like I just didn't even realize it was there.
Right. That image in my head is just a fucking baby floating in a pool.
Right.
I don't really think about the baby being fucking naked.
I'm not like, look at this baby's penis.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm looking.
And what's funny is I was listening to a morning show this morning. Maybe it was yesterday morning. I can't remember. But they were talking about this, and they played audio from an interview that he did.
The kid?
Yeah.
Or the now man?
He was
the
asked about
man-child?
it. He was asked about it when he was 25.
Okay.
And at 25, he kept like over and over kept saying, "Oh, you mean my baby penis? My penis when I was a baby?" He's like, "Yeah, that doesn't bother me. My penis is clearly different now."
Sure.
And like he said that basically that same sentence about 6 times in the same interview, kept referring to his baby penis, and I'm like, dude, maybe you do have problems, but maybe it stems from you having a baby penis, not from your penis being exposed when you were a baby.
I have 3 things that I've been like contemplating on over this, and one of them is actually a conversation I saw on Facebook that I screenshotted to share with you guys. But the first one is I find it rather ironic that the baby is chasing a dollar bill in the cover of this, and now the same person is chasing the dollar bill.
He's suing the entire band, Kurt Cobain's estate, the record label, and the photographer for $150,000 each.
So I think that the record label that released Nevermind was DMR, something like that.
I don't
remember. That's owned by another subsidy. And then the person that owns that is Universal Music Group.
Okay,
Good luck
so NBC
suing,
Universal.
Yeah, good luck suing Universal Music Group with their 5 billion lawyers that are just going to own your ass when you walk in there, right? Because they're going to say the same thing we are.
Has this kid or his parents, have they gotten any royalties from that?
No, because that wasn't
cover?
part of the deal. And I guess the only thing that they said that they didn't do that was part of like the agreement originally is there was supposed to be a sticker over his penis on the cover. But
that's what he says now.
That's what he says, right? So there's not any like actual
but keep in mind, he
that.
was 4 months old at the time of the photography.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, they might have records of
he
the
might have
agreement.
paperwork that says that, but he has
Maybe.
never
There's no
said
paperwork,
anything about that in the past 30 years.
Right.
Maybe the sticker was on the plastic that wrapped the CD case.
It was supposed to be the parental
So-
advisory sticker.
Yeah. So my second comment, though, is, and this kind of ties in with our Lollapalooza conversation. We saw Foo Fighters at Lollapalooza. Obviously, we know that Dave Grohl, the lead singer of the Foo Fighters, is the drummer for Nirvana.
No.
And, well, some people are ignorant, so I'm sorry, people. Get cultured.
They look the same.
They're the same guy if they shave
Hello,
their beard.
I'm ignorant.
Yeah, hi.
I'm just kidding.
Anyways, he's like got to be one of the top 10 most genuine and nicest famous
Humans?
people,
Yeah.
ever. I guarantee if this guy, when he recreated the first image at 9 years old or 10 years old, if his parents went to them and said, hey, so at this point, this is like one of the best recognizable albums in the world. It's not the top selling, but it's most recognizable. He's going to be going to college. He's going to have these, things going on when he gets older. How about we set up some royalties for, the exchange of him
Dude, if
being
they
on
would
the
have
cover?
asked for that in like 2002, Dave
Instantly.
Grohl would have done it.
Instantly. I guarantee he would have done it now. If he didn't
Oh,
bring
yeah.
his lawyers in, Dave Grohl would have been like, fuck yeah, let's set something up. Let's
Yeah.
make a deal that makes you comfortable so that we can move on. Because
Yeah.
Dave Grohl's not making that much
No.
from Nevermind.
No.
He's making it all from the Foo Fighters.
And now at this point, like this same guy has reenacted this photo so many times. It's quite obvious it never really bothered him that much.
Clearly.
And if it is now, then why not reach out rather than just saying, "Oh, well, I'm going to
Everyone's
sue. I'm going to sue Nirvana." You mean the group that only has 4 surviving members and
Everyone's so quick to sue, though.
like
Well, and it's like
it's America.
it's
The
not
American
like,
dream is to get rich without work.
America.
It's not like he would meet people, like if he never did the reenactment. It's not like he's meeting people and they're like, "Oh, you're the baby from the Nevermind music video," or not music video.
Nobody would
cover.
have known that if he would have never reenacted it.
Right. And so why is he all of a sudden just like, "Oh, I deserve this," because
Because people saw his baby penis, Tosh.
no one knew it was him.
But people saw his baby penis, Tosh.
So the conversation that I saw on Facebook about this is, I feel like this is going to stir into a nice conversation. So I'm going to refer to these people as Miss S and Mr. W, okay? Just because I don't want to, just in case. You never know. So Miss S comments on a post that, and I didn't screenshot the post, but it was the same thing. It showed all of his reenactment photos, and then it said, like, imagine reenacting this so many times and then wanting royalties for it so many years later or whatever. Her comment was, if the whole world only knew you because of your flaccid penis, you couldn't consent to being taken a photo of at the time, and you never received a dime for it, would you be cool with that? Okay.
Oh.
Right. So, and it continues.
Yeah.
Mr. W replies and says, I think the way that you're approaching this is a little silly and ironic, considering he reenacted this photo multiple times
To
and-
make money.
Yeah, and how traumatized was he really? He says, considering the fact that you couldn't have remembered any of this event at all. Plus, I didn't even know the name of the kid until someone told me that this was happening, and then I realized who it was. Literally, no one to this day is knowing who this infant was until this happened. He says, you get money because that you've done something for album art that's been successful, but you've been traumatized suddenly and exploited for child pornography. He goes, regardless of what the deal is, it's still ironic, And I commented back. I was like, listen, if someone knew me just because I was on the most recognizable album of all time, I would be more than happy about that.
Yeah.
Don't pay me anything. It's just like, hey, I'm on that album. Like,
Yeah.
This is great,
Yeah, have you heard of Nirvana?
By the way, my
I'm on
penis
their
grew.
album
Right.
cover.
Yeah, right. So then she replies back and she goes, from my perspective, from someone who has been sexually assaulted, I'm looking at it from a different light. And it took me years to process what happened to me and to understand that I was taken advantage of, as it does for many people who have been sexually assaulted. Clearly, this is not the same scenario, which is the key fucking word there. This isn't the same scenario, so why are you going into this? But I imagine that it's not great to be exploited to the entire world for free. She gets
Okay,
it-
let me pause you there.
Sure, go ahead.
It wasn't done for free.
Right. I was gonna say I can't
His
imagine
parents
that.
signed off on
Oh,
it
yeah.
and were paid for the picture.
Yeah. So
That's a transaction. The fact that he never got any money from it, that's his parents' fault.
the other thing is
they
why
s-
did she say flaccid penis? Like,
Because it's flaccid.
But-
Why would
but,
you need
but
to
as
point it
far-
out?
why do you
that
need to
you-
point- it's a
at
baby.
4 months old, it's
Right,
not like
I
it's
was
gonna
gonna
be
say, you're
hard.
gonna expect a baby boner?
Yeah,
What?
right, exactly.
Would it have been better if the baby had a boner?
Should
I
they
feel
have
like that is
photoshopped a
child
penis on the
pornography.
baby?
Yeah, just
when
a
your-
big old wang.
When your attention is drawn to the penis,
She's
that
the
is
one who's
when,
got fucking
that is
issues,
when you
man.
have problems.
And why make it about sexual assault? This baby was not sexually assaulted.
No.
I don't want to belittle this woman for her issues.
No,
Because-
neither do I.
No,
And-
like that's
yeah.
sad
But
that
that's not
her
the point.
feelings
she
are
was
valid.
assaulted,
But that's not the point of this.
Yeah, exactly.
This baby
I feel like
wasn't
she's stretching very
sexually
far
assaulted.
to meet the requirements of calling this child pornography when point blank it's not sexual. It's not sexual. The baby doesn't have anything inside of it. The baby is not inside of anything. There is nothing glorifying this child's
Right.
baby penis. It's not sexual.
So she goes on to say the redundant thing that she actually said in the beginning, which is pretty much like he needs to get more money for it because it happened to him. And Mr. W replies back, which is this is the last thing, because he just ended the conversation. But he says, "I understand that your sentiment, and I'm really sorry for the things that you've experienced in your life. But this, like you said, is not the same situation and scenario. The band was successful because of their music, not because of the baby's penis. Regardless of the royalties or what's owed, it's still a cash grab for everything that he's been doing. Why would you reenact something and then 30 years later then claim to be traumatized?
Yeah.
And
And you
for
know
it?
what? Let's say his
Which was
feelings
just-
are valid. Let's say
seems
that
like
he
everyone's
is
feeling the same way.
traumatized. What is suing going to like? You're not. Okay, you're traumatized, but are you victimized?
But how can he be traumatized 30 years later?
So coming from the other side, maybe it's looking at it like these reenactments were a pressure. Maybe it wasn't just like,
'cause
oh,
we
I
don't
feel
know,
like
right?
doing it
Okay.
because I was on the Nirvana cover or something. Maybe it was pressure because people around him knew that he did that. So then he's starting to feel exploited. Like, oh, you're that guy. Oh, you're the kid. And honestly, if people did know, because even if he didn't tell, his parents probably did, like, oh yeah, he that's our kid on the album or whatever, then people around him in his immediate environment start to know, and then they might have picked on him for it. So it might not be the world might not care or know who he is, but his immediate environment, his immediate experience could have been extremely different, something that none of us would be aware of.
Sure.
And then that made it feel like he was exploited. But the exploitation didn't come from the band. It frankly came from his parents.
Yeah,
Exactly. And that's what it
and
boils
I'm,
down
I'm
to.
fully with you there.
Yeah.
I think that honestly, had he not reenacted this one time and just lived his life, the world wouldn't know who he is. The world would not have a clue who that baby was. We would maybe get like a YouTube video in 2025 saying,
Yeah, right.
"Where are they now? Nirvana, Naked Baby, dead." You know, like. I mean, that's just an example. I don't think he would be dead in 2025, but if he was actually depressed and victimized, then maybe he would be. You know, and I'm not trying to invalidate all of his feelings. I'm just saying it doesn't really make a lot of sense that he's claiming to be traumatized and victimized by child pornography when clearly he's been accepting of it until this point.
Yeah, he ate that shit up for a while.
Yeah, he
and
made
a lot of
money off
times,
it.
just from like looking at how people go into things, people that I've been around that are trying to, get justice for one thing or another. Something might be warranted, but it might be the harder path to go down to sue somebody for.
Right.
So you look for the easiest option, like the option that's most likely to get approved or to get some traction, to get you the ultimate goal you want. So they might have had his legal team might have just had a better leg to stand on by calling it child pornography, even if he didn't actually feel like it was that.
Maybe.
So it might have been like, instead of saying, child exploitation and just go with that, they'd be like, well, we could argue that falls under your parents. Be like, okay, well, now we're going to say that it's child pornography because he was naked on the cover.
And that is the only way you can sue the band over it.
Right.
I think the easiest way would have been to contact Dave Grohl.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone knows the dude has a heart of gold.
For sure.
Everyone knows. Like, if this is a cash grab, that would have been the easiest way for cash, because Dave Grohl would have been like, all right, dude, let's set you up.
Yeah, I wonder how much money they made playing Lollapalooza.
Oh God, I don't know.
Because, man, you should have seen the crowd there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but do they make more money the more people that show up to their shows?
No,
Well,
but
they make
there's
money based on
merch
ticket price.
sales and
Yeah.
ticket
And
sales.
merch sales, yeah. Merch sales are huge.
So, the merch tends
Not to
for-
mention they just released
while.
2 albums in the past 2 years, so
Yeah,
or
both of
3
which
years.
were
3 years?
lackluster, but they're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
So
they're still selling well.
yeah,
They're commercial.
yeah, they
Okay.
are commercial, yeah, for sure. Well,
But still, I mean,
we don't know what happens behind closed doors.
The
so that's-
Nevermind album is still selling a lot. I mean, he could set him up for royalties starting now, and the kid could still be making bank.
Right.
Just everyone's got to just, I don't know.
I
Everyone's
say
just gotta
kid, even though he's older than me.
Yeah, he's got to just. Everyone's got to fucking calm down. You know, it's the big thing that's happened. I realized in 2020 and 2021 now is that like everyone wants their personal life to be slapped all over everything. Like they want everyone to know.
Sorry.
You know. No, but you know what I mean. Like we do this for fun. We're not like trying to get the attention for it. Like we're just sitting down here doing it. If something happens, cool. But there's like people on Facebook, people on Twitter, people on Snapchat and TikTok now. Please blow my fucking brains out. Everything's on there. You know, they're documenting everything that happens in their life.
But that's what you go to those places for, right? That's the difference. We come here to talk to you guys about what's going on in your lives and to share what's going on in ours. That was the choice that we made to come here.
Yeah, I guess.
This is like you go onto TikTok, and depending on what kind of stuff you like to watch, if you like story times, then you're gonna watch more about people's lives. I like watching this girl that talks about how her daughter is probably possessed by a demon because she climbs on top of her in the middle of the night, and she's like, "Mom, I'm gonna cut your face off and keep it with me forever."
Oh my god!
So I love watching her tell stories about her daughter.
I mean, we also have to keep in mind that this is the information age. Like we have all the information we could ever want at our fingertips.
Sure.
And some people use those platforms to teach. A lot of what Cara and I have learned about ADHD over the past couple of years has been from YouTube, been from TikTok, been from social media. Because
not to say that it's a credible source, but
a
lot of things make sense. You're like,
but it
wow.
leads us to more credible sources. When you get when you get a tidbit of information in that piques your interest, you might dig down that rabbit hole, and honestly, you can learn from it.
But what's the line that's got to be drawn?
Work.
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 I feel like you have something to say about that. That was a quick answer.
No, there's other lines to draw, but I am a person who gets invested in people. I do. I used to work in staffing. I used to get to know people, and I wanted to help them find like a better situation. Get them jobs, and like you hear all people's sob stories. Not that they always follow through on those.
Sure.
They talk to you about how like they're struggling to put their kids through school. They need to get a car. They need to do all this stuff. And it's like, well, I'm finding you this job that's right by your house that's doing all this stuff. And they don't show up for work. So there's that aspect. But there comes a point where like you're working around all these people, and I don't know if you have to deal with this where you're at, but I know Mark has, and I know you work in more, you deal with customer service kind of stuff, Tosh. So
every day.
So you kind of have to listen to people's lives and stuff. Yeah. But when you come to work, you have a schedule. You come to work and you have 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever it is, and the goal is to come here, make your product, make money, and go. Yes, we get invested in people's lives. Yes, we get to know each other because we're working together a lot throughout the entire week. But at what point do you have the right to be mad that your employer doesn't drop the priorities of the business for your personal life? Your child's birthday party that you requested to have off 3 days beforehand. Or called off for,
because it's only the same day every year.
But
right?
Wouldn't you know that like the birthday party's being planned, so you would have known this like at least a month in advance?
Yeah, this
if
happens
it's your
with
kid,
birthday
you probably
parties,
know.
doctor's appointments. Yes, emergencies happen. Things like cars breaking down or something,
car
like,
accidents,
or hospital visits or whatever. Something that happens. There's emergencies that happen, and sometimes we have to roll with it. To get through the day, we just have to like move on and focus on the business. But I don't think it's fair for employees to hold your employer, accountable, I guess, for not having more compassion. We have as much compassion as we can have, probably even more so than we should in the position that we're in, because frankly, we have a business to run. We have a product to make or an output to yield, whatever your fucking job is.
Sure.
You have a goal to meet, and that does have to come first sometimes. That does have to be like, okay, you need this day off in a couple of days, but we're also not meeting the demand, and now we have to pick up Saturday. So I can't tell you, yes, you can have this day off, or I can't tell you, I'm asking you to pick up all this overtime because you actually show up. I'm sorry that you actually show up. I don't want you to stop showing up, but I'm offering you time and a half or, bonuses or whatever I can give you.
Sure.
I don't know.
We've been dealing with that. I mean, I know you do that in your new job.
I'm that guy that shows up extra because
He shows up at my job now.
Pressure gets put on me to make sure that things are done. And, when we're falling behind, guess who the boss is? This guy. So guess who makes up the slack? This guy.
I wish that I could. I mean, so, yeah, I can't really relate with you guys on that sense because
I can't work overtime. Like, they will literally
Right.
say, "Oh, we stayed 15 minutes after. Come in 15 minutes late tomorrow."
that's
They
what-
literally will not
yeah,
let us
right.
work overtime.
I mean, there's time and a place where I'd be like, thank you. But, I mean,
Right
also
now it's like
money.
money, right?
But I would totally appreciate if it were like, "Oh, come in an hour. If you can come in an hour early, like get some stuff done." I would totally appreciate that.
They're like
Yeah.
that for me when it's not
Right.
busy season. They're like, hey, stay under your 40. I'm like,
Oh, yeah. I wish that I could just.
and I clock out
I
at,
would
at
work 12s.
40.5 hours,
problem.
and my boss goes, hey, we got to cut a half hour from you next week.
Oy.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
Good lord. But as far as like the relation on building thing, I don't give a fuck about your personal life. I'm a union member, so I get paid no matter what. Like you can sit here and talk to me all you want, but for the most part, I don't like people, so I'm better off by myself. So people don't really approach
My
me on
niceness
that.
gets me in trouble, though.
It used to
It's-
with me, and then I became so
Callous?
cold.
Yeah.
I realized that like this specific guy at my work, Mark interacted with him once, like when you kept dropping all
times,
those
yeah.
lids.
Okay.
But he'll like come up to my room and like open the door and he's like, "Hey, darling," and then want to talk to me for a minute. And like some days I'm like, okay, like just let him go while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. And other days I'm like, dude, do you need something? Because I gotta go. Like, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you right now. Oh no,
He's an
okay.
oversharer.
Oh boy.
He's a big oversharer.
We have
He seems like a sweetheart, but he's a big oversharer.
that's
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can relate on that sense. There's one gentleman at work who I actually had a run-in with today, and I didn't get to tell you about this, so it's kind of a fun share with everyone moment.
Yes.
And he's not gonna listen to this shit. So, anyways, he is the type of guy, and this is a quote from him. Okay, my dick is made of gold, and the bitches slobber on them, or it. Okay, I'm dead serious, mind you. He's 55, so it's pretty interesting. He likes to tell everyone he can about how many pussies he's getting on Tinder. Like he's a real ladies
All of the
man.
pussies.
Yeah, he's a real ladies man. And I'm trying to sell this guy as best as I could because that's not doing it justice. Anyways, he's
all about that WAP.
oh man.
I could introduce him to this guy that no longer works at my company that comes in swinging his fucking foot onto my desk.
Ew.
Yeah.
Did they fire him?
Huh?
Oh, fuck that
no,
guy.
he left.
He
Oh,
quit.
He left.
quit. Okay.
He didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, you told
but
me
he
that
quit.
story, but ugh.
Mm.
Well, this specific gentleman though, the last time he tried to unravel his bullshit and spew it
I
into
thought
my
you were going to say
face,
unravel his
Uh-huh.
penis
his
in front
penis,
of you.
yeah, just roll it
He's
on. A
unrolling
lot of
It's
dick
like an
talk
elephant
today.
trunk.
I literally told him, I said, "You are breathing the same oxygen that I am, and that should be a crime." And he looked at me like I was on fire because he didn't understand what I was saying to him. And I said, "If you don't have anything that has to pertain with my job to tell me right now,"
Get the fuck out of my
I
room.
said that. I said, "Get the fuck out of my office."
Yeah.
And ever since then, he just doesn't talk to me. Well, this is where the run-in today comes in.
Is that the same guy that tried breaking into your office?
No. We have a gate on our door now because we have a brand new, or on our driveway. We have a brand new building, and there's a gate because it's all a secure lot. And there's this thing that happens when you drive through a gate when it's closing. The eyes, because it's like a garage door opener.
Yeah.
Stop it. Well, this gate moves. It's a heavy gate, and it moves at a snail's pace. So people just want to get through it as fast as they can. Well, the machine that's closing the motherfucker like jerks it real bad when someone drives through when it's closing, and it immediately pops the chain off. So then it's just stuck open, and it has this alarm that beeps at you when it's opening and closing. And if it's stuck open, it just makes a
beeps.
shrieking sound. It goes from beep beep to beep like for hours on end, unless
like
someone
fucking
fixed
Wally
it.
got knocked over.
Oh man, it's terrible. It's terrible. Well, this fucking plug your ears, Tosh. Cunt, the first one of the season here. He drives through the thing. I'm standing right there, and he drives through it while it's closing. As there's a big sign that they put on it that says "Stop! Do not drive through gate while closing." So I was like, oh, "Son of a bitch!" He broke it off. I went and told the boss man. I said, "So and so just drove his truck right through the gate, and now
Chain
it's
popped off again.
Now it's stuck open, and I can't go out there and fix it because that's not my fucking job."
That's not your fucking job.
So the first thing he does, boss man fixes it, tells general supervisor, "Hey, this is an issue." General supervisor calls the dude and says, "What the fuck's your problem? You drove through the gate." Bitched at him. Well, then dude calls another one of my coworkers who's standing in my office and is screaming at him on the phone. He's like, "Do you have a second to talk? I need to vent about this." And he's like, "That punk ass Vox says all this," and he's going on and on and on. And the coworker is standing in my office, like laughing his ass off, looking at me because he knows it's part of my job. I got to rat people out. Like it's unfortunately part of my job.
Yeah, you have to be an arc.
Yeah, and he's just like going on and on. So when he approached, in the area that he's not supposed to be in anyways, I walked out to him, and I said, "Hey, I heard you had some choice words that you wanted to say to my face because you're too big of a pussy to do that." And he like gave me this look like, what do you mean? I was like, do you understand that my ears are the size of fucking Dumbos, right? Like I hear everything, and you were bitching to someone else about an issue you have with me. So the next time you want to cry like a little bitch, it's like you just come into my office and I'll tell you to politely fuck off, just like I did before. This guy
Come into my office, just tell you to get the fuck out of my
dude.
office.
This guy worked for my dad.
Ugh.
Well, my dad loved him,
Oh.
and he loved my dad. I don't like the motherfucker, so
This is the same guy that
has
is
a
all
golden
about
penis.
the WAP.
Yeah, he's got a golden penis.
Gold dick.
He's,
Does your dad love his gold dick too?
I
Like,
don't
I'm
know. I don't
confused.
know if he was on that level.
Did he tell your dad about his golden penis?
I
Like,
don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if he was on
I
that
feel
level.
like your
of,
dad would not be
information.
okay with that.
So do I. That's why.
Well, he must not have been like that when your
That's
dad
what I'm saying.
was
He-
around.
Well,
He
and
was
if he
probably-
was, he didn't say it.
He was
'cause
probably
I-
significantly younger then, right?
was
Was he like
8
your age?
years- No, he's 55.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's 55, and my dad retired 8 years ago. So
Okay, so he would have been in his 40s.
40s. So maybe I don't know who fucking
was
knows.
he married at one point? Maybe.
Yeah, he has a
Okay.
kid. too.
Maybe it was
So then
before
maybe
his
he
dick
was
turned to
married-
gold. Maybe
maybe
it was
he
still
was married
silver.
when
He's got a kid the same age as us, as all of us.
Okay.
She's 29.
So then maybe he was married when your dad worked with him, so he
Yeah.
wasn't
I
He
don't
wasn't
know.
bragging about
Fuck
his
boy.
golden dick.
or a
Yeah.
fuck man, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck boy.
But
It's still fuck boy.
anyways, to loop that all back in, I can't really relate on the personal life issues.
Oh,
'cause I
that was the whole segue.
That
we
was
had on
it.
there?
That was it.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
I just
but
tell
this
people to
is-
fuck off.
This is where
Yeah.
we disconnect because he's like, "Why don't you just tell him to fuck off? Why don't you just tell him you
Right.
don't care?" I'm like,
Yeah,
I can.
sorry.
I'm like
First
kind of
of
in the
all-
middle of it, like
Yeah.
right in the middle there.
first of all, like in regards to my coworkers, like I like them all, so I'm not gonna tell them that. But I work with women, so I cannot tell a woman,
That's gotta
Women
be
get
fun.
offended
I'm not
about it.
listening
Yeah,
to
really,
you.
really fun.
Shut up, get away from me, because that's gonna turn into a whole thing. And when it comes to members, I could never tell a member that.
No, that's your job.
And it's like, my job is to care about you. My job is to listen to you. And even today, I had a member that was just being like she was just a complete bitch to me. And she was telling me, she was like, "Can I speak with your manager?" And I was like, "My manager's not here." She's like, "Of course she's not."
Oh, you caught the Karen.
Yeah. Well, then she was mad at me. And then she calls back and she's like, "I'd like to leave a message." And she goes, "Never mind. I'll just call back." Because she knew it was me.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my coworker, because I share a cubicle, so she can hear everything that I say and everything that the member's saying. And I'm not a quiet person, so obviously she can
Yeah,
usually hear
you're
most
Italian.
of it. I was like, "Was I rude to her?" And she was like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, good. So I know that you've got my back if the manager comes and says anything to me asking if I was rude to the woman." But I'm like, first of all, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I understand your frustration." Like, I'm going to be like, "No, like, this is the way that it is. This is what happened. I do apologize for the misunderstanding, but this is what was going on. And I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to be fake with someone because that's what they want to hear. I'm
Yeah.
still going to be stern, and I'm not going to let you walk all over me."
Yeah, at my last
Because-
job, they told us to like go ahead, and if you feel it's necessary, like apologize for things. But if it's not your fault, you don't have to apologize like it's your fault. Like, I'm sorry that just like you said, I'm sorry that there was like a misunderstanding, because that's vague enough that like the misunderstanding doesn't necessarily mean that it was on our end. It wasn't a miscommunication, misinformation.
Right,
like
and it
big-
was something that literally happened in 2019.
Oh my god.
That
Don't
she was
big
mad about.
companies tell you not to apologize though, because that admits fault?
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
I
pretty
apologize
much.
for the misunderstanding is not taking fault.
Well, see, I don't know. That's what I'm
Because
asking.
that is saying you didn't understand what I was telling you, or what I said to you, you didn't understand. What you said to me, I took the wrong way. It's not saying that either one is at fault.
Yeah.
It's
Even
saying
though
we
what
didn't
you really want to
communicate
say is, I'm
properly.
sorry you're not understanding this, but
Yeah, really.
I'm sorry
really lay it
that
on
I'm
thick
sorry
there.
that you didn't read this entire thing before complaining about the situation. Because
sorry.
if you would have just read, you would have known that this is the situation and that this is right. And the computer generated this. Not she's like, why'd you type it in this way?
I'm
like,
sorry
I
that your brain
didn't.
moves at 10 miles
Wait,
an hour
I
in
love
this
when it's-
55
when
mile
it's,
an hour
why
speed
did you
speed limit
do
we're
this?
working with.
Right. But she came in and asked for me, and then complains what what
To
I
you,
did or
about
what
you.
I'm doing, and wants to talk to a manager about me. I'm like, you asked for me. Don't ask for me.
two things I've witnessed here so far is, number one, we haven't been able to vent to each other about our jobs in a while. So
No,
that's
not
so
really.
that's where what we're talking
Well, we
about.
still
in the
gotta
show.
tread lightly
I feel like
too,
I've
because
vented
like we
enough.
can't like reveal a ton of information.
I know. But number two,
I'll tell you my boss's address. I don't give a fuck.
don't do that.
Wah, wah, wah,
Number
wah, wah,
two, that I've learned in the past 15 minutes of us talking about our jobs, is that people are just stupid, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
And
You just learned that?
well,
Well,
we're
you're
le-
one of them.
Well,
I'm
we're,
just
yeah.
kidding.
He's trying
we're
to
learning-
segue, Car. I can
we're-
do
Honestly,
time.
I'm sure we have been those people that they're like, why aren't they understanding
Oh,
this? And you're just like,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
why aren't you explaining it to me properly?
I can admit it. I'm dumb.
Absolutely.
fine.
But as far as people being stupid, I mean, people are going to some lengths. Now, we had the stupidity as the cinnamon challenge. We had the stupidity as
The
the
Tide Pod challenge.
The Tide
Tide
Pod
Pod.
challenge.
Oh my
you know?
God.
And we talked about this
Yes.
like 2 years ago when
Yeah.
it was going
Yeah.
on. So you can go back and listen to those episodes at TF4podcast.com.
Tide Pods are good snacks. Promise.
Yeah. And we really did talk about that on the show. I remember
we
that.
have we have the new one,
Oh, yes.
the new challenge. It's
I-
called.
And you
the-
brought this to my
I did.
attention
I
today.
did.
And I
You
didn't
didn't even know about
I
it.
didn't
I
really
don't know
know
how you didn't know about it.
I try to
It's
stay
called
away.
the milk crate challenge. Now the trick is you stack milk crates up in a straight line, and you basically make a pyramid out of them, and you have to climb across them, like walk across them, and make it all the way to the other end without killing yourself, apparently. but the reason it's become a trend is because of how hilarious it is when these fuckers fall. It is a blast.
So my first question is, two of my favorite things to do when memes come out or like trends come out is like do the research on how this started. Like there's Memepedia is a good one that kind of like shows you how things like where
history
the
of
roots
memes.
Yeah. Where did this start?
I'll tell you what I think.
Oh man.
I think Rob Dyrdek didn't have enough videos for ridiculousness, and he started dropping off fucking milk crates in the hood.
I've seen that meme online a few times, and it's just
It
like
makes
I love
sense.
when Mark presents internet ideas as his own.
yes,
It
well, me too,
makes
actually.
sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, but that's wrong.
The milk crate challenge
Probably.
makes sense.
No,
No,
Rob
the
Dyrdek
Rob Dyrdek
giving people
giving them milk crates. Where are the people getting these many milk crates, though?
Yeah,
like,
where the fuck are they getting their milk crates from?
I don't know.
someone needs to check out
Milk, maybe?
every fucking Kroger and find out if their milk crates are missing, because they're gone, man.
Yeah,
They're
oh, yeah.
everywhere.
That's
I saw one that they didn't have milk crates, so they went and they bought the like back to school crates you can get at
Those are
Walmart.
flimsy as fuck.
Yeah, and they used those, and I watched a woman get all the way up to the top and then fall on her head. It was great.
Can you order them on Amazon?
Probably. Milk crates? I don't know.
well, Cara's on it.
Oh yeah.
Because maybe they're just ordering them in bulk on Amazon. Watch, they're all going to be out of stock when you're trying.
I feel like there's a lot of money
Casey
to try
tried
and
calling me
spend.
back.
Of course he
Casey-
did.
oh, yeah, he
Even though we
wants-
told him we're
Yeah,
podcasting.
we told him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I want to be on another episode. I'm still gonna call you during
Yeah.
recording." Thanks. Kate.
Why is it every time we podcast he calls?
Why is it every time we start podcasting, everyone wants to listen?
Milk crates are
be
$22 a piece.
Yeah, nobody's buying those for $22.
No.
Dude, you can get them for free in the back of Walmart.
Okay, but they
nobody's
must-
buying
That
those.
that must be inflation though, because there's no
Maybe.
way that like a month ago they were.
I don't
$22
believe
a
that
piece.
anybody's buying those though.
No, no one's buying those. That's like if people are buying those, they're insane because you're use them one time and then get rid of them, try to
And
recycle
then
them.
break
and
your
then get
collarbone.
injured. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. 20. What is it? 22 on Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't. I just can't. Wow.
You know what? No, as funny as the challenge can be, you know what's not funny is the hospital bills you're paying for.
True.
Hospital.
America.
Who goes to the
Yeah.
hospital?
Well, because you're gonna snap your fucking collarbone when you fall off the top of one of these.
Yeah, but
things.
who goes to the hospital?
Well, people I'm sure that are being
People who want to catch
severely
COVID, apparently.
severely injured. I want more continuous segues as we talked about. Like, hey, you can listen to our older shows where we talked about the Tide Pod Challenge. Kara sparked a stupid habit of mine now where I have been going through our back catalog and like listening to episodes of our show that have different titles that are intriguing, right? And I stumbled across the title that's actually episode 40. Now, we were talking earlier and it was like, what episode would this be? Because we're not numbering anymore. Our last numbered episode was 50. So
50?
yeah, so
We stopped at 50. Oh yeah,
well,
we
our
did
last-
several episodes that we didn't number.
our last numbered episode was 50. So I think there is.
We're probably on 70 something.
Oh, we gotta be. There's no way that.
Well,
we're
if
not.
you include all of our Facebook episodes,
2, 4, 6, 8,
well, you're counting them now.
60, 2, 4. Okay, so that's 64 that was posted plus 10, so 74, and this is 75.
Yeah.
Which is insane. But no,
That's a lot of episodes.
I know.
We spent that much time with you guys?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. But so you started from the beginning.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
Awful.
It actually, I was surprised. I'm really surprised because I remember when we started doing it, it felt like every time we sat back down, you were like, okay, this was sounding really weird when we did it last week, so I'm going to do this time. And I remember being in Tasha's apartment, and you were like annoyed about the air conditioner.
Oh, yeah.
And like just all the shit. So it didn't sound bad to me. The first episode, I was like, you can't hear Mark at all.
Fucking rough.
You could
Yeah, I
not
know.
hear you at all.
I don't know what happened.
It was like I was whispering.
I don't
Yeah.
think you
It was
might have
because-
not been close
because
enough
I
to
was
the
sitting
mic.
back here and I was trying to talk. Like
Oh, because you could
normal
hear.
volume.
Yeah, you could hear
Right.
in headphones.
Yeah.
So
That's so funny.
So yeah, I was just listening to that stuff, and then I feel like there's things. It's like watching SpongeBob, where like all of the references and stuff we make, I thought were spaced out over several seasons
dude,
of
they're on top of each
SpongeBob.
other.
It's all season one.
Yeah,
It all
it's there.
happened in season
It's
one.
all right there.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Are you what have you listened to multiple? Or
I'm in the middle of 3 right now. I've listened to little pieces of other ones, but I'm in the middle of episode 3 right now.
Our first couple episodes were long.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is probably going to be a
Episode
long.
4, I think, was the sex episode, wasn't it?
No, fuck no.
We did it. We did the
Like
sex episode
20
pretty early.
like
it's
no,
still
20
open
something.
on my Spotify.
it was under 15.
I was to say because we're on Spotify now, so you can check our entire backlog.
Mm-hmm.
Whose
You-
foot is this?
oh, hey,
Oh, hey,
how's
what's
it
going
going?
on over there? I wanted to say, and because I went, Cara was like, I'm going to go back and listen to. So I'm scrolling through. Episode 40 is called Ramble, Ramble, Ramble. And this would be the second episode that I would suggest anyone to jump into TF4 and listen to. The first one's always going to be, I think, 20 or 22. It's called Can Boobs Cure Depression.
Oh,
it's
it's
a
a great
really,
episode.
It's a great episode.
Classic.
It's really funny. But Ramble, Ramble, Ramble is really funny because it's around this time of year. And what episode is it?
14.
It's 14.
So, like I said, under 15.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
All right.
bitch.
I'm on Booty Eating Bigfoot.
There you go. Can you look up, see what date on there that episode 40 was? Because I think it's around this time.
Episode 40?
Yeah, because you guys were working at Blake's. Mark says that he's turning or just turned 28, which is fucking hilarious.
October
I'm 31 now,
October
for reference.
23rd.
Oh, so October 23rd.
I love that
so-
you have it all marked explicit.
Yeah, oh yeah, because there's some
They
dirty.
have to be.
Yeah.
We
there-
swear a lot.
There's dirty
Yeah,
shit.
fuck a
October
lot.
23rd, 2018.
Oh my God. October 23rd of 2018. Holy shit. Anyways, we talk about a few things in there that I have come across now while listening to those that I was like, well, I have a different opinion about that.
Yeah.
Number one, I have to say that we had White Castle the other day for the first time in a very long time. And in that episode, we talk about how White Castle is very good and doesn't affect my guts at all. Well, guess what?
You're old now.
That has changed. We had White Castle, and I shit pure liquid for 2 days.
You were just sick though.
It wasn't because of that.
But it was like it could be your body and
Maybe,
stuff.
but it was White Castle.
But you could have a little White Castle date with Nick in Brooklyn because
Yes.
Nick's always like White Castle, and we're like, fuck no,
I love
nobody
White
wants your
Castle.
goddamn
So
crave
gross.
case. Get away from us.
So we got the newer
episode 3 was the Tide Pod Challenge
smaller-
episode.
Was it episode
Oh my god.
3?
Yes, episode 3. Tide Pods cleaning up millennials.
Oh my god. What date was that?
Well, no, I mean technically, I guess because
January
I'm on
22nd, 2018.
episode 2, part 2. I think
yeah,
is what
there's
I'm on.
there's a
Yeah,
couple
episode
episodes.
2, part 2, Boudini Bigfoot.
Okay, and then episode 3 is the Tide Pod.
Episode
Yeah.
3 is Tide Pod.
Yeah.
Episode 2, part 1, Qui-Gon Jinn is killing again. Where did we come
Is
up
that
with
when we
these
talked
titles?
about the fucking train movie?
Yeah, we talked about Passenger.
Yeah, Passenger.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's where we get these titles, man.
That's why I wanted to listen to it again. And I'd be like,
There's a
oh,
lot of
let's
good
revisit
stuff.
that topic.
So the other thing that I wanted to revisit was that the fact that Mark says that he loves underwear and socks as gifts.
Yeah.
And I questioned that so much, but now I'm realizing that socks and underwear are great gifts.
Again, you're getting old.
Dude,
you
don't
get it.
you don't want to fucking buy underwear, do you?
So
but
here's
when you
the-
get it for free, it's fucking great as
Here's
long as it's
the-
comfortable.
The
Well,
real,
and the underwear that he likes are expensive.
they're very expensive.
Yes, they
Uh-huh.
are. Yes, they are.
Pair of thieves. I will fucking brag. I don't know what those ones are, but
They're compression short underwear.
They're from
fucking
Walmart. Calm down,
spandex.
Mark.
Yes, they're from Walmart, but they're still fucking like $20 for 3 pairs.
Pair of Thieves. They come in a bunch of cool designs, but my favorite are the black ones because they have a rainbow on them and a little waistband, which
Nice.
is great. They're super comfortable, but they're like $40 for a pair of 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh, but they're so good. So I always ask for those now.
Brooklyn
But-
calls Nick's boxers his nut shorts because they
They're-
got like that little pocket
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that goes
they're
behind.
nut huggers.
They're not shorts.
They got a kangaroo pouch for your
Uh,
balls.
I wanted to say too, the really funny thing about this is I am the same age now
That I
that
was
you
during
were
that episode.
during that episode. So I get it. And now we're old, and that's great. So
I'm
and it's
I'm
just
31
so
years old.
funny to
Your
me.
everybody missed your 30th. They all missed it.
Oh yeah, we did.
We
miss
were
our 30th.
there.
We were
you
there,
guys
yeah.
were there at
True.
my 30th birthday. We sat and Kara set up a projector outside.
Oh yeah, it was
and we
hot
watched
as
Thor Ragnarok.
fuck.
It was pretty muggy.
Listen, compared to this past week, I don't
Oh,
think
God.
so.
I
I
don't.
know.
Yeah, I don't really think it was that hot.
I was so happy for the storm today until I realized I was soaked all the way down to my toes.
Oh, and it made it even hotter.
Oh yeah.
No, actually, it made me colder because I went into the cooler directly
I
after
see,
that.
yeah.
No, I'm saying after
that-
it rained
After
and
the
then
storm,
came,
yeah, it was muggier.
Yeah, it's way more muggy.
But I was wearing a hoodie the rest of the day.
I
So
couldn't- so I don't know we're hanging on this topic, but I cannot believe that this is our 75th recorded episode, and we have talked about so much shit over the
It's
past.
time for a quarter quell.
What is that? Say it again. Oh, is that Hunger Games?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, all right. I
Quarter
got you.
quell.
I'm a nerd. I got it. I read books.
I read things.
I started that. Have you read the? Let's book tangent for a minute.
Oh,
Have
jeez.
Have you read the prequel?
No.
There's a prequel now.
Yeah.
Stop it. Came
I
out
read
last year.
Dune.
We talked all about this.
No.
What?
Oh my god, I'm so excited for Dune.
No, Dune's gonna be good.
Dune.
I still can't
I
believe
have
Tosh
to
didn't
read that
finish it.
book.
Kara still
I didn't even
finish
start
it either.
it.
You
Kara
need,
didn't finish it.
I'm really close to the end
You're
of it.
not.
but you need to sit down and do a thing for Kara and read.
Dune.
Shut up. Read that.
Read 13 Reasons Why again. For
No,
the
no, that's
10th
not a
time.
thing for Kara at all.
No.
That is not a thing for Kara.
No, you'll be very sad after that. Read the fucking prequel to it. It's really good.
What's it even called?
Oh fuck, songbirds
No,
and
Catching
snakes.
Rain.
Read Little Fires Everywhere. That book's really
Is that
So many
another Hunger
books.
Games movie?
No,
it, sounds like
it has
another
nothing to
Hunger
do with
Oh, I
Hunger
wish I would have
Games,
brought them to
but-
show you guys. So I went shopping because like the new, not
Games. She did
new,
a thing for Kara.
but the trending thing for like baby showers and stuff is like bring a book instead of a card and then you write
Mhm.
in it like from, because then the baby has like books, like keepsakes from you as they grow up,
Oh,
right?
that's cool.
So I go to the store and we're looking at all of like the children's books because Mark's sister Cassie was having her baby shower last weekend. Brooklyn's is coming up next Saturday. And I'm like
Mark has
looking
a
at all these
sister?
books. Yeah.
Brooklyn's pregnant.
Evan's
you guys
sister.
have met her.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Not
Evan's
Evan's
sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so we had both of those. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick out some books and stuff. There were books that I had to get because they made me think of Mark. And I'm like, when we have children, like these books need to go on the shelf. It's
Everybody
one of
poops.
them is called Grumpy, and it's just an angry monkey on the front. And the other one is called Grumpacorn, and it's an angry unicorn. I'm like, these are amazing. Children's books are so good, but they're totally different than like the kids' books. You can get those as
Oh, yeah.
classics, like
Everybody
The Very
Poops is
Hungry
classic.
Caterpillar
Oh,
and that
sure.
kind of stuff.
The Giving
But
Tree.
these ones are like way more reflective on like on the
Pooping?
feelings, like the big feelings that kids have. And
Wasn't-
stuff
Right,
like
because
that.
everything when I was growing up, it was like, oh, be happy. Like, this is happy. It was never.
I remember
like,
very sad books when I
anything
grew up.
sad.
Like
Isn't
The
it kind of
Giving
crazy
Tree.
that the
Giving
word?
Tree was fucking
Oh, the Giving
depressing.
Tree was really
Yeah.
sad.
But isn't it crazy that like we look at the things that we saw when we were growing up, and these were like our mainstream books, our mainstream ways of raising kids, our mainstream all this stuff, and it was like that kind of was like indoctrination to like behave a particular way and respond to things the way that we want you to.
Yes and,
And
no.
now we're trying to like teach people to have their own
Own
feelings,
feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And-
they're yeah.
and express them properly.
But do you think that makes us better or worse?
that
I-
makes
I- we
us as a
won't know,
generation
honestly. I don't
probably
think
better
we'll know.
parents because we're not teaching them, hey, you need to behave this way. It's you can accept your own feelings. You can feel a certain way. And I agree with what you're saying, but I kind of disagree because if you think about it, like a lot of the books we read as kids, like The Giving Tree, if you give a mouse a cookie, things like that, they taught us not to trust certain things and not to do certain things. Like,
So is
not-
that why I have trust issues now?
probably?
Because if you had been given a cookie, you would have wanted a fucking glass of milk.
But you got to no, you got to keep in mind.
Well, duh.
How often do you take a step for somebody else and then constantly they're asking for more and asking for more and
All
asking
the
for more?
time.
Never.
That happens to
Hello,
me
the
every day at
reason
work.
for Mark's mental illness right now.
Mhm.
Never. I don't do anything for
I
anyone.
literally
so.
reference
You do
the
too.
Give a Mouse
you
a Cookie
two.
book
Yeah,
today.
but we don't
But
ask
you
for
never
more.
asked for more.
Kara is the Giving Tree.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, how many
But-
more branches are you gonna rip off before you just
She's
decide
gonna
to
be a
twig?
stump in a couple
I'm
years.
gonna look like the Black Knight from the Holy Grail.
It's
just a flesh wound.
Flesh wound. Tis just a
Have it
scratch.
thee.
Anyways, it's not all books. You know, some of those books are classics and things that you'd want to share, but there are a lot of books that like tell you how to feel. They tell you what an emotion looks
I
like.
don't remember those.
And you're raising fucking like sociopaths to blend in instead of
Right, they tell you what happy is. They tell you what should make you sad. And that's why like
Yeah.
sometimes like I'll like they do. Books try and like direct you into a way of feeling sad.
I'm
Like
not-
child's books.
I'm not
But-
huffing in
you're just
because,
going,
because the reason I'm saying that is because I think that feelings are a fundamental thing that need to be developed in a child at
Yeah.
a certain point that needs to be cut off, right? So how old are they when they're reading these? This is what you should look like if you're a man.
I don't remember any of those books because I was like,
because you didn't have a mom.
I was that's not sure I had a mom.
See, and I still wouldn't. I still wouldn't.
She's gonna
even,
listen and she wants to be a host or a guest. So
I was reading at like a 5th grade level by the time I was fucking 5. So
I
I mean,
still can't read
I
at a
just
5th
I
grade
skipped
level.
over a
Oh,
lot of
shut up.
shit.
See, and those things like what you had just said, like I don't really see. I see books driving away from that. Like this is what you look like if you're a boy. This is what you look like if you're a girl. And instead, we're gonna drive more towards like this is how you tell me what you like. This is how you show me what you want. This is how you do these things. And
This is how you express how
I
you
think that there's
feel.
like a good medium between the gentle parenting that people are driving right now. That's a big controversy because are we being too soft on our kids, and the authoritative that's still carrying over from previous generations with some modifications and understanding the difference between verbal and physical abuse, and like more of a guided parenting, like actually showing them the way. Because frankly, like we're fucking 30 years old and we're still trying to figure out our emotions.
Yeah.
Don't say
But-
we bitch.
I
I'm
mean,
the only
there
one
was,
over 30
that's
here.
what I was gonna say. Like, there's so many times, like even now, and a lot when I was growing up, like I would feel guilty for not being sad, like reading a book or watching a movie, knowing that this is supposed to make me
This makes
sad,
other people sad.
but I feel nothing.
Yeah,
and
but watch
maybe-
Marley
Right.
and Me, you'll
And
Maybe
then
fucking
that
cry.
makes me a
So shut up.
sociopath.
Right, and then you grow up and you're
But-
like, okay, so not everybody. goes into this fantasy
not
world when they
uniform.
read. Like, I see a story and I enjoy this story, but not everybody invests in it. Some people do, and that's why they get emotional, because you immerse yourself in the story, and like you might get into the story very interested, but you're not in it. You're not
Tosh-
like feeling that
Tosh doesn't have
emotional
the
tie.
imagination for like to be
Yeah.
sympathetic, or
Yeah.
is it sympathetic?
Yeah.
Empathetic.
Empathetic.
I'm
Thank you.
sympathetic,
You
but I'm
can't
not
be
very
empathetic
empathetic.
for
Yeah.
characters that don't really
Yeah.
exist. It's like it's hard for you to put yourself in that position,
And-
Which is
in a book.
okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, even
It's so not okay.
even
It's
not
okay.
even
Be
not,
a nerd.
But
Fucker.
even sometimes when like it's not even just book wise, like I've talked to like my friends and stuff about it, and I'm like, I feel bad, but like I don't know how to feel what you're feeling, and that makes me feel bad,
What-
because I'm like, I want to be there for you, but as a person, like I'm sympathetic, but I like really struggle.
It's
when it
not
comes to
necessary
empathy.
though, because
Yeah.
you got to keep in mind that not everybody's emotions are uniform either. You're not going to feel the same way. You're not going to know how to feel the same way as what? Why are you laughing at me?
Box's face.
Keep going. You're fine.
You're not going to necessarily understand what someone else is going through if you can't relate. And I mean, that doesn't mean that you're a sociopath. It just means that you can't walk in their shoes. You can't put yourself there in
Yeah.
your mind.
That's why we have all these classifications like neurodivergent and all that stuff, because
Don't use that
people-
kind of language here.
Stop swearing at me.
I think there. I don't know if there was just some weird feedback that was happening there or not, but I think that my biggest regret as a child, or a young, like teen and adult, even a young adult, is not reading.
I know.
I didn't like reading. I never liked reading.
All I did was
ca-
read.
I couldn't read. Like I still have
liked
a
reading.
I still have a problem reading. Like I'm not
Yeah,
kidding
you have dyslexia, don't you?
Something. I got something because I have a problem of like.
You've got like
sounding-
ADD or something, but also
Yeah.
like you can't focus.
Yeah.
So like that, and that's another good example of this is like you don't immerse yourself the same way you do with audiobooks, what I cannot.
Right.
I just
Audiobooks
can't.
are my bitch.
Yeah.
I can listen to stories. I can listen to like people telling their stories and stuff. I love watching movies and things like that, but I cannot listen to a book being read to me and feel the same things that I'd feel reading it on paper.
See,
Do you speed it up at all?
Not really. The only things that I have found enjoyable
You
is
drive me crazy.
autobiographies, like read by the
I was
author.
thinking
Like,
it's like first
Okay.
person.
yeah,
right?
Lauren Graham, I did. Anna Kendrick, Amy Poehler. I loved them because it was all of them telling their stories about themselves.
see, I can't do audiobooks at all. Like I get
It's because you're deaf.
no, it's not. So
You physically
it's
can't
because I
do
have-
them.
it's- It's because I have a focusing issue. Like I can't focus. Like, and it has something to do with being deaf, but it's also sort of an
partially
ADD thing where like I can't focus and pick out voices in a group of noises. I can pick
Yeah.
out other different noises. Like you know this because I've explained to you this in,
Oh, yeah.
in
Oh, I get it.
music.
Yeah.
I can't pull out lyrics the first time I hear a song. I can hardly pull out lyrics the first 6 times I hear a song. It's all instrumental to me for the most part. And I can hear a voice. I can't hear words. but it's the
God.
same thing with like
I don't know what I would
conversation.
do.
If we're trying to talk and we're at a party and like we're in a bar, we're hanging out, we're talking, and there's music, I couldn't tell you what the fuck is playing.
Yeah.
And it's not because I can't hear it, it's because I just can't process it.
So there is
Yes.
there is a challenge on TikTok that's like an audio layering of songs, and it starts off and it says it's telling you to follow the original song to the point where it says a specific word, and then just blurbs in a whole bunch of different songs on top. Some people can follow it through, and other people you just get lost, and like
That sounds like the
like
sort of
on the
thing a
video
psychopath
you're
would
like
do.
watching how people react to it, and that's that. Like I couldn't do it. I immediately
can't
got
do that.
distracted, and then I found my way back to it.
Oh,
Some
really?
people can't at all.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Interesting.
I
can't-
saw that.
Well,
I can barely follow
okay,
a conversation.
So circling back to the audiobook thing, I struggled with it because I couldn't focus because of how slow it was, because I read pretty fast. So I sped it up, And now I can listen to audiobooks.
What are you, like 1.5 speed?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
because we talked about that before, and he played a clip of a book like on his speed and then on her speed, and your speed makes more sense to me.
Yeah,
Right, and I can
agree
pay
there.
attention to that more.
I
and
would be
process
somewhere in
it
between
better.
you guys.
But we
No.
talk faster anyways. As
Yeah,
women, we
women talk
generally
faster.
do.
Yeah, so we
It's because you don't get enough time to talk, so you got to get it out fast. Men are
mean,
always
this-
like, "Shut up, bitch."
This
Yeah.
podcast
Stay down.
is a very good example of that.
Cheer up,
though,
bitch.
Because this is like half the time it's always like the Vox and Mark show, right?
Yeah.
As
Listen
I
to
can-
us come out of our shell in these old episodes. Go tune
Oh, I
in.
know.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, there wasn't. Never mind, it was deleted.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
episode that Cara and I finally
The
came out of
secret
our
episode.
shells.
Jokes on you guys. We actually recorded
St.
76 and
Patrick's
Vox deleted
Day.
one.
We came out of
we
our
lost
shells,
2,
and
actually.
Oh, we did lose two.
tequila came out of Vox. So
Tequila did come out
He
of
was
Vox.
literally puking, deleting the episode while he was puking.
Yeah.
That was such a good episode,
Why
too.
you gotta
can't
bring
believe
this
we've
shit
done
up?
this.
Why do you guys bring this shit
It's a
up?
secret episode nobody will
It's
ever hear.
3 years later,
he
people.
secretly he has it
I'll
somewhere.
never forget about it because I finally started to get comfortable. And you're like, this sucks.
You had a great time, though. Like, Vox was shit-faced.
Oh, I hated
Yeah.
that.
Wasn't
He
I?
hated
Didn't I
himself
say
so
something
bad.
about her butt in it? Like I was like,
I don't know. I
we
was
talked
drunk.
about Demi Lovato for a bit.
Yeah. Well, I
remember
mean,
this
that's half
shit.
of our episodes now.
I mean, we'll talk because I just remember it was something
Excuse me,
easy
it's
for me to talk
Demi
about.
Lovato.
It is not. It's Demi.
Debbie Lovato?
Demi.
Debbie?
it's
Dobby.
It's Demi.
it's Demi Lovato.
Demi Lovato.
No,
'Cause
it's
she's
still
a them.
Demi.
Their name is Demi Lovato.
Oh God. Next topic. Go back to the audiobook thing.
So, anyways, on the audiobook thing, I can't process audiobooks in the same way. I mean, I can if it's the only thing I'm focusing on, or if my vision is processing something and my hearing is processing the audiobook, I can work that out. I can't work it out if I have a shit ton of things going on. Like at my work now, I couldn't do it. At my work when I was at the spring shop,
Yeah.
I could totally do it.
Sure.
Because all I'm doing is working with my hands, and like I was paying attention to that, and I could process with my ears. What I'm doing now, I'm still processing with my ears with everything I'm doing. So I can do podcasts right now.
Oh.
Yeah,
Can't do
podcasts are
audiobooks.
way easier to process.
I've actually stopped listening to podcasts and been strictly.
I love podcasts.
You know, so do I, but I just haven't been like nothing's caught me. So I've just been on this like
You need
audiobook chug. You know.
You need to do me the favor
Okay.
and listen to Small Town Murder.
Stop. It's been
not-
3 years. He's
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
was gonna
listen
say
to
I'm
it.
not doing. We talked about that. I listened to an episode recently.
Stop
that we
trying
just talked
to
about.
make small town
It's
murders
so
happen, Mark.
good.
It's
They're
not
not
gonna
gonna
happen.
It's so fetch.
Ew. Don't say that.
That's my
know that
favorite
reference
murder
now and I
is
hate it.
always one that when I want to listen to a podcast, I go back to it because I'm still in like 2019 on that.
I'm waiting for another podcast that's like Up and Vanished or Serial.
I
You know,
know.
that's gonna like grab
Oh,
me
so
by
you like the
throat.
stupid serious ones.
I've listened
So-
to like several episodes on a couple, and they just don't grab me the same.
Yeah.
Small
Yeah.
Town Murder is the best.
Shut up.
Dude, if it doesn't have comedy, I don't want it.
I don't care about comedy.
I love
you know,
comedy.
like if I'm gonna listen to something, I'm gonna listen to something. But what I was gonna say about audiobooks too, as we're still chugging on this conversation, I have read more books in the past 2 years than I have in my first 26 because of audiobooks. Because I've gotten so serious into them, and actually quarantine helped me so much. You know, because we listened to all of the
started
Harry
our own
Potter
Yeah, we
little,
books.
listened to
we
all
started
Harry
our own little
Potter.
book club too.
Yeah, that's what happened
We've
with that.
we've read 2 books.
Yeah, what happened with that?
Between all of us, we've read 2
One.
Yeah, but
books.
see, okay,
We've
so
all
the
read
thing I
one
didn't,
together.
the
Never
thing I-
talked about it.
Kind of.
yeah, the thing that I didn't
3
get
of
to
you
put
read
up.
one, and then 3 of us read the
Oh,
other.
you didn't read the other one?
I didn't
We
read
should
the
do the
first
thought
one.
you read
TF4
it.
book club.
We
So
should.
what I mean, like for that page, is just that like whatever you're reading, put something up about it, and like when you're thinking about things as you're reading it, put your questions in there. So if somebody else starts reading that book, then they
Oh,
can
shit.
join in the conversation with you. So you don't all have to be reading the same book, but if you end up reading that same
I'll
book,
start doing that then.
then you can have conversations about it.
I read
So
so
you know what's-
many off the wall books.
You know
like-
what's really cool?
My mom would feed into
Sorry,
that.
Tosh.
She reads so
No.
much shit.
You're good. My Kindle is connected to my Goodreads. And so I can highlight a portion of, and I don't really use my Kindle that much, which I should use it more, but I can highlight a portion of the book and put a note about it, and then it shows up on my Goodreads.
Yeah.
So then I
Really?
can go back and remember, oh, this is what I thought about. Because I have a problem of I finish it and then I completely forget about what happened.
Right. Right.
Oh.
That's
Like,
kind of me.
I'm
Oh.
just,
If
I'm like,
it's- if
okay,
it-
I remember like the gist of it, but I can't remember specifics
it's a
of like,
book-
oh, this lady's aunt's name.
If
but
it's a book that doesn't stick, Like if you don't find it super interesting, like it's out of my head.
Even if it does stick, like there was a book that I read that Cara told me to read, The Future of Us. Like I liked that book. I enjoyed that book, but I cannot remember the names of the people. And I just read it like 2 months ago.
I don't remember
Oh,
it, but I
shit.
read it
All right.
like I read
Well,
it
that's
long,
not
like
quite
in
me.
high school, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's not quite me.
I'm glad you liked it though.
Yeah, it was, but it's like I remember everything about it, but I don't remember specifics.
Jay Asher, right? The same author as 13
Yes.
Reasons
Yeah.
Why.
Yeah. So two things. Number one, her Goodreads is attached to my Amazon account, so I can't sign in under my Amazon account. In case so you better never leave me, or I'm going to deactivate my Amazon account. You're not going to get.
You're gonna deactivate my Goodreads.
Yeah, you're not going to get your fucking.
How will I ever know what books I read?
Right. Yeah, you're never going to get the history of your books. And number two, I read like these off the wall books all the time because I have an Audible subscription, and for me, it is not worth buying a book or spending your credit on a book that's less than 10 hours long. Like I want a book that is
That's
going
why you
to
gotta
be
get
worth
Libby
my.
and Hoopla.
I have both of those, but I'm just
Hoopla.
not there yet.
I'm gonna put this out there real quick. An audio book at 10 hours is not the same as me reading a physical book in 10 hours.
Well, that's the thing, right? So exactly because you read the majority of
I read
Dune,
Dune in a day.
In a day, right? It took me, the Dune audiobook's 36 hours or something like that, right? So it took me like 5 weeks to get through that, and then I took a small break in between because that book's exhausting.
It took me maybe 14 hours for Dune.
Oh my god! Well, I listened to The Stand, the extended version of it, which is like 50 hours long.
Stephen King, right?
Yeah, Stephen King, and I was just like, this was so worth it. Like I'm gonna do it, and then mind you, there was some points where I'm like, what the fuck, Steven? But the majority of it, I was like, this was totally worth it, and it cost me $7 because that was my monthly subscription fee at the time.
Yeah.
To get a 50-hour book that if you were to go buy it like an audiobook on Audible, it's like $40
That's
for it.
$50 or 50 hours of entertainment.
Exactly, for $7.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is why I read long books. So I'm listening to Game of Thrones right now. And the Game of Thrones first book is 30 hours long, and they only get longer from there.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, with the exception of the first 3-ish,
Yeah, they were like 6 to 8 hours. in the
Everything after
beginning.
4 is 500 some pages
Yeah,
long.
after I think 4 was the first one that was like 20 hours, and then everything after that got longer. So I was like, these are worth
4 is
listening.
literally
See,
twice
what I
as
like
thick
is
as one.
what I like is when I can listen to a book and then have the physical book. So when I'm able to read, I'm able to actually read the physical book. But when I'm like driving or when I'm sitting at my desk or
audiobook it.
go on a walk, I can listen to an audiobook. But
I like following along with the physical book. So I try to not only buy like the audiobook, but also the
So you
physical
want a
book,
book
so.
being
It makes your brain
you
work
like a
less hard.
classroom style
Yeah,
where
I really
it's
do.
being read out loud while you're following along.
And I swear to fuck, if Carr ever wants to sit down and record a book, let's go.
I was
'Cause
just thinking about
I
that
will
again.
listen
I was
to
like,
you read
Dude,
me a book.
how do you spend like how do they just like stop at a chapter and then they'll go back to those like when they're recording the
Yeah.
audiobooks?
Oh yeah,
yeah, you
Yeah.
usually post by chapter, I think, or like a
Yeah.
couple chapters at a time.
but they
there's that.
record them consecutively.
You send
like,
them to Audible. You like, listen, I got the girl for you.
No.
Well, yeah. So Audible has their own studio built in California, and anything
is Audible.
that's recorded in there is strictly for Audible,
Don't
right?
copyright
So,
me.
you just made me choke. So the big thing though is like they have to record consecutively, so they get all the characters' voices the same.
Mm-hmm.
They get all the pacing the same because God bless his heart, or whomever bless his heart, Satan bless his heart.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who's reading the first 5 Game of Thrones books is like 100 years old. He's dead now, but when he was recording these, and he mispronounces a name. His name is Joffrey. That's the character's
Joffrey,
name,
yeah.
right?
Jeffrey.
He says Jeffrey. He says Goffrey. He says Jeffrey.
He says it different.
Oh in
no!
one chapter, he said it so many different times. So I
That's
was
like my life.
I'm like,
gotta
what's,
be consistent,
I'm like, what's
bro.
happening? What's
Who's this
happening? Right.
Cara,
And so I looked him
Kara,
up.
Carl.
And the biggest complaint about his audiobooks is his mispronunciation of words. However, this guy is so well liked in the community because he's been in 100 movies. They were just like, it's fine. He was 100. Like you're fine. He's actually in Game of Thrones, the TV show, for a split second. He was supposed to be a main character, but got really sick near the end of his life and had to step down. But they brought him in for 2 episodes, and he plays some crazy pyromancer guy who makes the dragons fire, which just explodes King's Landing, which is huge spoilers for the show. But if you haven't watched it now, go fuck yourself.
Sorry, that's like season
And-
5.
Yeah,
so.
right. So it's really cool that that happened. But that was the big thing, is like you got to have consistency. So that's why, yes, they
Right,
record
and
consecutively.
And if someone has a voice that you don't like, it ruins the entire book. What book
yeah.
was it?
Oh man, there's been a couple of them that I
I think
to,
Where the Crawdads Sing was one that you couldn't do.
Yep, couldn't make
But
it through
that
that
book
one.
is so good.
I've
Woman
heard
in the
that, and
Window.
it's there. I have it to read it.
You should read it.
There's like a woman in the cabin or something like that. My grandma gave me too. And she
Oh.
told me to read.
I got
The Woman in Cabin 10.
I think that might be
That
it.
one's really good.
Woman in the Window. Couldn't make it through that one.
I heard that one's not the greatest.
It's not only boring, the narrator is bad.
You know what's
So,
funny is
return that one.
I don't know
the
why I
only-
keep hearing this thing about me reading books. I don't understand it.
the only audiobook that I
Your voice is just
have
so
actually
soothing.
gotten through completely and
I
enjoyed
know this one.
was Plagueis.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the narrator
Uh-huh.
for, the narrator
Go
for
ahead, tell me
Plagueis-
more.
The narrator for Plagueis. All the other voices were fine, but the narrator for Plagueis nailed Sidious's voice. His voice for
Do it.
Palpatine, it was fucking perfect, and that's what
You
made
like
me
that?
love that book so much.
Star Wars. I read the High Republic.
Yeah,
That was bad.
bad.
Oh yeah.
See, it weirds
I
me out
wasted
that
a
you
credit
say
on that.
It weirds me out that you say you read them because you didn't. You
No.
listened to them.
Shut up! It's the same thing. Do you guys say that? You think listening and reading are the same thing?
I don't.
What?
I absorb
I
things
think
differently,
so.
so
Now that I've been listening to at first I was like, no way, they're not the same, but I think so.
I absorb things differently. So when I hear things and read things, it's
My
two
own-
different things.
My only argument is I put in more time into my books than you do because you read so fast. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still putting the commitment in, right?
True. Yeah.
So-
no,
it's
still-
not
it's still reading.
It's not devaluing the
Yeah,
fact
I'm
that
not
you're
saying-
going
Is
through
what I'm
the
doing
book.
I'm attacked.
I just-
Okay.
it's
I
just
just-
the action verb
of reading
should not be reading.
Is visual.
Oh, if you want to talk about according to the dictionary, what is specifics? Because
That's
let,
what I
let
was
me
like,
just say,
Stupid. I'm useless. Can't do anything.
those are your words, not
I
mine.
heard the stand.
Yeah,
No.
like you can't.
Would that be the right
No.
one? Like
But-
there is
but I
no
get
better
it.
one.
I
They just
listened
added-
to the stand.
They just add supposedly
Ugh.
into the
Ugh.
fucking dictionary, all right? So saying red when you're listening to, I'm going to argue it, okay?
Ugh.
Jesus fucking Christ. This world's coming to a goddamn end. I don't want to get into that because that's political, but still. I read the book. I read the book. It might have been read to me, but I read it. Bitch.
Oh, supposedly.
Or at least like the little tidbit of like audio reading or something like that extra
I wish I could share my like
breakdown.
Well, what I'm
love
saying is, I don't feel like
audiobooks
I don't
with
feel
you
like
guys.
the action verb should be read or read or reading it, but nothing else really fits. Like, I listened to the stand. You mean like that
you read
sounds
The
like you're
Stand.
that sounds like you're hearing a song.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or-
I still get it. I get what you're saying when you say reading.
It's-
It's not.
just-
It's
it
not a
always sounds
point that
odd.
needs to be.
I just feel attacked.
Yeah.
So I felt the same way
You
though
should.
until I started listening to audiobooks. Like I was like, it doesn't count as because Wells on YFT was like, oh, I listened to audiobooks or I read this book.
Mhm.
And when he was,
Speaking of YFT, we also talked about that in episode 40. Sorry, continue.
I still listen to it if everyone's wondering.
I do too
um,
now,
But
sometimes.
I was like, oh, that doesn't count as reading because he would listen while he was on a run or he would listen like doing.
Who said
cleaning
that,
around.
Brandy?
Wells does that, and Brandy was like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't really consider that reading."
Tell Brandy
And
to shut
I
up.
agreed
Who are these
with Brandy
people?
at first.
Brandy Cyrus and Wells Adams. You know, famous people. Miley Cyrus's older
Older
Sister,
sister.
yeah.
older sister.
And Sarah
Yeah, I don't-
Hyland's
those people don't exist
fiance.
to me. I'm sorry.
You
Okay.
said the same thing
They're
on
not
episode
real.
40.
They are real.
They
but
aren't real.
she said
Miley's
that
real.
they didn't that didn't count as reading. But now that I listen to audiobooks, I'm like, it does though, because sometimes I don't have access to actually physically read the book, or I don't have time to physically read the book, and I still consider it reading when I'm listening.
So what
Here's
you're
an
saying is
interesting
you're
question.
biased.
Oh.
Here's
When
an
it
interesting
comes
question.
to me,
Here's an interesting question.
what I do is right.
Do you, if you,
Love it.
Hold on. What time is that at? 1:27. Got it.
when you read a book versus when you listen to a book, do you absorb it differently? Like, do you remember more things when you listen to it or more things when you read it, or neither? Do you just, Is it in one ear, out the other when you're done with it?
Are you asking me this?
Her,
I'm
both of you.
thinking. So I do absorb it differently, but also sometimes when I'm listening and reading at the same time, I'll like read the name in my head a different way, and then when they pronounce it, I'm like, oh, that's not how I thought it was pronounced.
Okay.
Or, oh, that's interesting. That's not how I heard, like, that's not how I pictured them.
Like the name Hermione.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
that's gonna be the same thing that you see going from a book to a movie too. Is like, well, that's not how I imagined them, because like just like we talked about with playing D&D with your brother and the kids, like I offered to show his nephew a monster in the
and
monster
this
manual,
is fucking adorable.
and he told me no, he didn't want to see what it looked like because
He wants to imagine
he
it.
imagined the creature a certain way, and he didn't want the picture in there to change what he imagined it
Amazing.
to look like.
Amazing.
And like we literally, I mean, they're not going to hear this obviously because they're kids, but we got him some stuff for like Christmas already, because I walked through the
Sure.
store and immediately thought of him.
Aw.
Him and then his younger brother Emmett, they both like to draw their own comic books. They make comic books out of like just stacks of paper, and one is like has a plot. He's like, Black man does this, Black man does that, and the other one is just kind of like, Mom found flowers, so Nana did this, and like jumps around all over the place. But there's like a comic book outline template, and I was like, I have to get this for them because
That's
they just
awesome.
have like this great imagination like that. But you know, just
See-
it would ruin it for him, or it would ruin it, you know,
Right.
like hearing it versus reading it, changing it. And some people don't like it, some people don't care.
Well, and like Mark was saying, like, I don't have a great imagination. Like, that's not a secret. So when I'm listening to an audiobook, like, they're like, oh my God, Mom, you're so annoying, Mark huffed. But I read it as, oh my God, Mom, you're so annoying, Mark huffed. Like, that's how I read it in my mind. But when I'm listening in an audiobook, it's
Does that freak you out that that's how she
Yes.
actually reads it?
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I didn't realize how bland you were.
ouch. I like, it's not that, like, it's different. I mean, I still, like, obviously, like, I'm like, oh, okay, like, Mark huffed that.
get
like,
it.
it's, but it's
to
like,
be fair,
yeah.
books could have
it's-
more.
when someone's saying that to me, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like, that's totally what that would mean. Because sometimes
Yeah.
verbs, like, don't, like,
Right. Instead of reading
it.
a story in your own mind, you're hearing a story
I'm being
told
told
to
the
you.
story.
It's
yeah.
like genuine input.
That would paint a better
Yeah.
image for some people. I can see that. It's I mean, books could be more visually appearing with you know, showing you how context is supposed to be read if they wanted to,
Yeah.
but it's being left to your imagination on purpose.
And I want to answer your question because I think it's funny, because after I heard hers, I only absorb things when someone tells me it, or I consume it in the way of some sort of media. Like if I'm watching it, cool. If I'm listening to it, cool. You know, if I'm reading something, it doesn't stick with me.
Okay, but you read articles all the time.
I was
and
just
you-
going to
you
say the
bring
same
them up
thing.
to
You
us.
always read news articles and stuff and throw them up. But I think there's like more of a conversation aspect to that, where he like glimpses a headline and he was like, ooh, going to share that. And like, and then you
Hey,
look
let's
at
talk
it to
about
like
this.
have a conversation
Yeah.
about
You
it.
research this stuff. You read these articles. You
I
look
usually
back, like,
read before I share.
but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
read them.
Yeah, for sure. But that article takes me 2 minutes to read.
Yeah, and you're like, or you're in like a Reddit thread where it's like an
Right.
active
But a book
conversation,
that's
not
gonna take
just
you 5 minutes or 5 hours to read. You're not
Say
going to
again?
touch it.
5 hours?
Yeah.
Dude, it'll take me decades to read a book. If I were to sit down and like read something, Jesus Christ.
I think, so for you, I feel like you should, not to be, like,
Don't tell me what to
not
do.
to, like, talk down to you or whatever,
just
or,
called
like,
you
talk to you like
bland.
you're dumb.
Stop being
But
stupid,
I
books.
feel like what you should do is like read like Goosebumps or something that's like super
I really
easy
want
to
to.
read.
Read Harry Potter
and then
1.
that way you'll
Magic
be like,
Treehouse.
oh, this is
Ooh,
easy. And then because you listen to books that are 30 hours long, that some people will be like, why are you
Yeah.
wasting that much time?
Read Harry
but if
Potter
you read
1.
small books,
We read them all last year.
But did you read it physically?
he did.
Yeah, I read them.
No,
I read
he
them.
was.
Fucking bitch.
You did
I
read,
followed along with the first 3.
and you did. There were times where you weren't listening, that you were reading, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
So,
not very well.
but
like
I
one
feel like
page
if
an
you
hour,
started
so-
off with like, you know, not children's books, but like YA
yeah,
or
young
like
offers
Here's
or
here's
young
the difference for
adults or
me.
whatever.
The big difference between audiobooks and physical books. If I'm hearing something, my mind can wander.
Oh.
My mind can drift wherever the
not
fuck
me.
I want. But if I'm focusing on reading this and following
you
these
got
words,
issues.
I am in that book.
See, but I'm different. I'll be reading, and then all of a sudden, like, my mind trails off, and I'm like, oh crap, and I gotta go back to what I was.
Oh, I'll
reading.
read the same sentence
Oh,
20
no.
times.
That happens to me now and then. Like where my mind will just shut off for a second, and I'm like, oh, I'm 2 paragraphs further than I
It's
was.
like
Hang on,
highway
let's go back.
hypnosis in a book.
Oh
When
my
you're like
God.
driving and then you're like, oh shit, I'm still driving.
Yeah.
Nope.
You're like,
Dude,
oh shit, I'm still reading.
I do that, and I
Yeah.
pull into my driveway, and I'm like, oh, did I
How
just
did I
drive
get
here?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Holy shit, how did I
I
not
think,
wreck?
Cara, were you saying this earlier? Where you like, I don't know who the fuck was saying it. Something about like getting attached to a character and being like upset and emotional if those characters are going through something that you can relate to. I think that was.
I think Tosh was saying
Oh,
she
it's
couldn't
one of the-
relate.
She couldn't. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I
Empathetic,
can't
right?
read 13 Reasons Why
'Cause you get
anymore
so
because I get
yeah.
very emotionally
because
invested.
you get so upset, that makes.
He really wants to be on.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hopefully he's
I
okay.
also can't read 13 Reasons Why anymore.
But you know what? I will never read that. We've talked about this countless
It's-
times on this
Okay,
show.
maybe I need to read it
such
so
a
I know
gr-
if I'm
it's
heartless. or
such a
not.
great book, but
Fuck that.
it's
But I'm
such
one of
a
the
great
people.
book, but it's so heart-wrenching.
I'm one
It's
of those.
different for
The
everybody,
show
though.
is very sad. Like, I will admit, like, the show definitely, like, but I've never felt those like, I think we've talked about this before.
I haven't watched
I've never
this-
felt those feelings.
Yeah.
So
I haven't watched the
it's
second
just-
season,
it's
but the
very
first season was pretty
Yeah,
pretty
it's very
good.
sad to me, but I could see how it could be triggering for some
Yeah.
people.
And
I don't
that's-
like the word triggering because I feel like, I don't know.
But
I
it
feel like
is.
you're a
It is
snowflake.
triggering for some
Yeah.
people, and
It
that's
is.
why it's
Feel
so
like a
different.
snowflake.
Its perception is different for everybody. Like
Yeah.
you can't really say that somebody's opinion on the show,
Is
the book, or
wrong.
anything is wrong because everybody's life experiences is what determines how they read into something. So somebody who was assaulted in the way that she was would take that differently than somebody who has never had an encounter like that in their life and can't even imagine how that could how somebody could put themselves in that situation.
Right.
I said
Right.
with air quotes.
or someone
Specifying.
or
Yeah.
someone that's never had that, because, like, I don't know, I don't want to be whatever, but someone who's never had those feelings of, like, I want to end my life, like, I've never
Right.
felt that way. So it's like, it's very sad for me to, like, see that and
Mhm.
like see it put in, like, obviously to talk to my friends or whoever, like, saying that they felt that way. I'm like, I am sorry that you felt that way. I don't understand it, but, like, so I experienced 13 Reasons Why way
Differently.
different than
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
that has felt that way before. Because
And it
Fox is
wouldn't
like,
be
I would
something
never
that-
watch. I wouldn't even, like, watch that show. He's like, don't watch it around me, please. Like, there was one time I think you walked in and I was watching, and you're like, how do you watch this? I was like, I'll turn it off right now.
It-
But
yeah,
he
it's-
doesn't
it's-
understand how I can read books where like real true stories about things that happen to children. Like they grow up and they write a story about like child abuse that they experienced when they were kids, sexual abuse that
Right.
they experienced when they were kids. And he's like, why would you put yourself through that? Why would you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because they've been through something, and it's a little bit like if I read them, I hear their story, and that's
Yeah.
why they wrote this is to be
Right.
heard.
Mhm.
When I read that, I hear them. I know people that have been through these things. There are certain things that I can empathize with in some of those stories. So like I want to hear out people's stories. That's what they wrote them for, you know.
Yeah, they wouldn't have wrote it if they didn't want people to hear about it and people to be able to.
You need
13
like a TED Talk.
13 Reasons Why 13 Reasons Why hits me and Cara completely different in different ways for different reasons, and
For
it's
13 Reasons Why?
yeah,
For
13
There's
Reasons
13 reasons
13
why
different reasons
Yeah.
why.
Why.
Ew.
you're one of them.
Yeah, I know.
Who, me?
No.
No.
I'm like, why? What did I do?
But as someone who has attempted suicide before, it doesn't trigger me, but it does make me
you
feel
feel
those
those
feelings
emotions,
again.
yeah.
It makes me. I can put myself in her shoes in a way, and yeah, it's upsetting. It hits me hard. But at the same time, I also feel strongly for Clay from the book because he is in a position by the end of the book of feeling 100% completely helpless,
Mm-hmm.
useless, that he could have done nothing.
Spoiler.
Been there before, too.
alert.
Eh.
Yeah.
The
That's
the
what
show's been out
scares
for 3
me.
years.
That's what scares me about people that I'm around and stuff. But we could that's a whole nother
Yeah.
subject that we could dive
book's been
into
out for almost
about
20.
I
all
don't.
that shit.
I guess my encapsulation with books is it has to. I don't know. I want to escape. I don't want.
Encapsulation.
Yeah, because
You're getting encased in with the books.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Game of Thrones is that's my recent one. Like I was saying, sucking me right in. And I watched almost the entire show, but it's different. You know, the book's a little bit different. And
You know what I find about about books and
Suck me
movies
dry.
set in like a fantasy setting. Ooh, which one? Cersei.
Ew.
I didn't hear what was said.
He said it.
Hey,
He said it
you
was
look at
sucking him
Natasha
dry.
after that one.
Yeah, you gotta get with the
I was
time thing.
listening to Mark.
He
Right
said
down
something about
that-
sucking
right
him dry,
down
and
that
I was
time
looking at you.
box.
Oh.
Right down that time.
I'll find it.
Because there's a it's sucking me dry, and then there's a ooh.
Car goes, whoa.
I was listening to Mark, and you're talking. Cara's listening to you.
There's a thing that happens on TF4 that it's just multiple conversations at once, and it's okay. And now we're testing you. And Mark could never listen to this episode because there's multiple episodes or multiple conversations happening at once because he can't
Multiple
decipher.
episodes.
I can no.
I really hope that
multiverse.
people that
Every
listen to
single
us,
TF4
I
episode played all at once.
Yeah, I specifically think of Steve and Dustin when I think
For
of this.
sure.
But like when we're sitting here talking, like they're vocally, like out loud talking
I know.
with us.
I know both
Yeah.
of them would do that,
They
and I hope
for
they make
sure
it this
are.
far into,
Yeah.
into the show. As
I think
as
Well, you
our-
can split it up. Maybe let's find another topic.
yeah, yeah.
Part
Go
two?
from there. What?
We can talk about the hot sauce chick on TikTok.
Wait, what?
The
What
What?
we? Well, first of all, you can finish your thought real quick, and then
Yeah.
I don't
Go ahead.
remember where my thought was
Good.
going.
I'm
so
proud of
we're
you.
good. Fuck you.
What I want to say is that we should eventually wrap it up here. But two things. I'm going to keep referencing this motherfucking episode because
I'm gonna listen to
you
it.
got
Episode
tomorrow.
12, right?
40.
Episode 82.
14.
We're not even there yet.
69.
14 is a sex episode. Good episode.
Do we have an episode 69?
We do.
Not yet.
Yeah, technically,
Oh.
but it's one of the quarantine episodes.
Episode 96 in the future?
Ugh.
It's going to be about
We discussed doing
electrical.
no,
Dicks.
Stop it.
Electrical dicks.
What's wrong with you people? We discussed doing some other things on the show for charity reasons or Patreon reasons or whatever. And I want to mention this because it was brought up because 13 Reasons Why is now a fucking thing, and he didn't kill himself, but he passed. Our friend Thomas was someone that we
Yeah.
lost recently, but in lieu of sending flowers or whatever to his funeral and for memory of him, his family asked for donations to a suicide prevention fund, which is awesome. And I would really like to do a bunch of like either a live stream thing or something in the near future when things slow down a little bit, where we do a bunch of different things, have some guests over, and have all the proceeds that are donated during that live stream to
Resolve.
to a fund
Yeah,
of
that'd be
some
so
sort.
fun. Yeah.
And I really want to do that. And one of the things that we were talking about doing, which you two sissies are not on board with, but I think it'd be really cool for
I'm
for
on
charity,
board with it. I told you I'd
is
do it.
to either do hot wings
I want the hot chip challenge.
or the hot chip challenge.
Listen, I just
Like,
had unsweet tea and I got acid reflux. So you want me to have some hot wings?
if you
Hey,
can't like
Clara, we are doing it at their house, so if you shit liquid, it's here, right?
What if we
Acid
do?
reflux comes out your mouth, up
okay,
your
so-
esophagus.
well,
Okay, so
here's
puke
my
here,
thing
it's
that I was
fine.
thinking for you, honestly, is you
Ranch.
would, just all ranch.
Blue cheese.
Cauliflower.
No, you would just
Rainbows.
be like
What?
behind the camera, if you will, for a minute and be
Mhm.
like, this is what this one is, and give us the Scoville rating and break it
Oh,
down.
she's gonna be the host.
And be like kind of the
Ooh,
host for it.
yes.
Because I know you and I don't handle hot stuff very well.
I have a sparkly like Vanna dress at home. I'll
we'll do
bring
it.
it.
We'll
Nobody's
do it.
gonna see me, but I'm gonna
We'll
wear
do it. Yeah. I know Mark would do it for a good cause. He would regret it for the next 5 days afterwards, but he would do it for a good cause. I really want to do something like that. So
You know I would do it.
I'm bringing
yeah.
one of my brothers. They like hot stuff.
I'll
would-
paint
I
my
would-
toilet brown.
yeah,
That's
we
fine.
could.
I would love to do that, and I'm gonna try to see if I can get another mic that is more ambient. So
This
that
is
we don't have to
man
be
Cara?
on the mic. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to hear us eating wings right here.
Right.
I
yeah.
do
So
ASMR.
that's kind of
man.
the thing. And
Patreon exclusive.
speaking of which, too, this obviously
Just
isn't.
sound only to our hot wing challenge.
This obviously isn't a live stream, but we're talking about doing live streaming, so that's a thing that we will work on as well, because we would want to live stream that
Yeah.
event on Facebook or
Yes.
whatever, so people can watch and join in with our misery. The other, I think, was that the other thing I wanted to say? Was the fact that we're still setting up new studio-esque things and wanted to get, maybe that was it. I think that was it. But I wanted to do something like that because we talked about it, and I think for a good cause, it would be fun. And you and I can go over that because you would be way more structured on, like, let's get things together. I would really like to do the Hot Ones lineup.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
It's 112
I'll
bucks.
tell
but
you
it's
what,
12.
Just
I
get the
will not-
sauces. I can make everything. It's fine.
That's what I'm saying. It's 112 bucks for just the sauces. But it's
Yeah, but
all of their lineup.
We
and I
could get
would
those
really like to do
sauces
that.
and then use them. It's not like we're only
Yeah,
gonna use
right.
them
That's what I'm saying.
once.
We're not, it'd be worth it. It would be 100% worth it.
Oh, yeah,
so.
we'll need a gallon of milk on standby.
Ugh, I hate milk.
Yeah, but you
Milk.
need milk.
Chocolate milk.
Oh.
There you go.
Ew.
Kroger chocolate milk.
You guys are saying milk.
Milk.
Milk?
Cara
Yeah,
said
it's
milk.
clearly milk.
It's milk.
Chocolate malake.
I can't. These headphones won't stay on my head.
Squish them down, man.
They don't.
Squish your
work.
melon.
Malake.
head.
Just
Hey,
slides
listen,
off
they
my
were
head.
$20, so if you want to get a better pair of
Chocolate
headphones,
malake.
all you lady.
Chocolate.
Wow, we've been chugging for a while.
2 hours.
Almost getting real close.
Yeah.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. It's really
Well done,
great.
Meg.
Yeah.
Hey, send us your
Back
dildos.
again.
We'll sign them.
What's
Don't
that?
forget.
We
Said
are
send us your
back.
dildos. We'll sign them.
Oh yeah, as
Dildo
Tosh
time.
has said, send us your dildos so we can
Share our
autograph them.
stuff. We share our stuff.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
forgot
Share.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Again,
Except I don't know if we want your dildos anymore. COVID.
Oh yeah.
your
You
Wash
have to
them
share
for
the
us, please.
dildos.
people's pussies
They
don't
must-
have fucking COVID.
The dildos you sent to us
Germs.
must be pre-packaged in the original packaging, and then we will sign it.
No, we'll sign
And
them.
then you can use it
Yeah.
with whatever you want.
I do want to say too, because
Look, sex toy wholesaler. We can order them with stuff put on
I'm
them.
really
Oh, and
nervous
then we'll
that
send
just
you
It's
go
from a
dildos.
with-
How
company
about
called
that?
Pink Cherry.
I think our Redbubble is still up. I know we're not. I wanted to wait.
Hey, do they have
and-
dildos on there?
I don't think so.
No.
No, wait, I'm pretty sure I asked that question when we first got Redbubble.
Probably
They do not have dildos.
no. But
You can get shower curtains
hey,
with the TF4
the
logo.
PS4.
The PS4
the
logo.
P- you can also do
can.
that if you
Yes,
want to.
probably can. I guarantee it.
Oh boy, yeah. I don't remember how we end these things, but thanks for listening, and I'm really happy to be back. I want to say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we missed you guys.
Feels good.
I feel
I think we have to say amen.
no.
Yeah.
Glory,
Why?
hallelujah.
That's how you end podcasts.
May
What
the
about
force
what
be
about
with
a
you.
woman?
Yeah.
I feel like amen is sexist.
Yeah, it is sexist.
Oh, I found
misogynistic.
Natasha's peach sticker
Oh,
and
yeah.
my game piece.
yeah, but you're not
Natasha
even
Beach.
you're not even Game Master 3000 anymore. You're Google Maps.
She's still Game Master 3000 on
I'm
my
Google
phone.
Maps.
You're Google Maps on my phone.
No,
Aw.
look.
I don't know
she's
why.
still Game Master 3000 on my phone.
Well, that's because it's an Android potato. So
An Android potato.
I
My
know.
phone-
How long have
My
you had
phone is
that
a potato.
phone?
Still better than yours.
I don't.
I
See,
doubt
Game
it.
Master 3000.
I believed you. Like I didn't say like, hey, Mark's
You're
a liar.
wrong.
Can't confirm though. My phone is a potato, but it's still better than yours.
I'm a
Yeah, all right. We
potato.
can just calm down over there. What was I saying?
Oh, we're gonna say goodbye.
no.
Are we?
My phone just died.
Oh,
it
good.
said goodbye.
Aw.
It said goodbye.
It said
literally,
bye,
that's a sign.
Felicia.
That's because it's an iPhone.
I wanted to say that.
Or because she never charges it.
Can't
I just
confirm.
use it a lot.
we
Okay.
talked about your, recent mental deficiencies. Thanks for sharing that with us, by the way. I hope that this is an outlet for both of you. Where, yeah, you're talking to someone on a third party who's a therapist that you're paying, right? But we're free. So if you just want to come down and sit on a mic for a little while, talk about baby penises and books that we like to read
Mark,
on
sit
Audible.
on sit on this mic because this is the one that
Right in your
somebody
face.
else is gonna be using.
What does that mean?
For
She,
your
she
movie.
wants me to sit on that mic so that Luke can smell my ass.
I was trying to be subtle, but sure.
Well, speaking of Luke, I have to plug this if anyone's listening this far. Pick It and Flick It podcast is still a thing that we're doing. Tasha's an honorary host every now and then.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
Yeah.
Halloween extravaganza.
She was a big part of the Mean Girls one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was.
She sounds very enthusiastic right
Was
now.
that related to the Halloween? I'm a mouse. Duh.
No, I don't. I think that's when you were trying to get me on it for good,
yeah,
and then
full-time,
it just
yeah.
ended up being that it was just too hard.
Luke
Because you
and-
and Luke, they podcast like right after work, and I'm still at work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Luke
So-
and I are like Mark and I. You know,
We talk
we're
forever.
very strong personalities, long-winded.
Yeah, because if you ever listen to Pick It and Flick It, and I'm on it, you'll hear me like chime in. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, and then I'll like talk for a second, and then it's like
Then 20
it-
minutes later, you realize
yeah,
Tasha's
it's-
still on the episode.
Yeah.
it's like 45% Vox, 45% Luke, and then maybe like 10% me.
Yes. But the other thing I wanted to say, and this is a new reveal for the women here. So big ding, ding, ding surprise for you. We want to start a little side show for when Cara needs time for herself and when Tosh needs time for herself, or some people aren't available, called Two Talls and a Shot, which is a really fun joke. But it'll be like a bonus thing.
Bonus Jonas.
Of Mark, myself, and Luke.
Yeah.
Sitting down.
Is Luke the shot?
Luke
is the shot. He's a short
'Cause
guy.
he's short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause he's short. Yeah, he never wanted to explain that. So if he listens to this episode, which I'm sure he will, and gets through all 2 hours of it, he'll be like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, somebody got the joke immediately.
Yeah,
Nice
right. Well, that's
job.
really
How
good.
did they figure it out?
Wow, it was a mystery forever.
Yeah, right. So, anyways, those are the two things that are still happening regularly, because I don't know how regular this is going to be. So, if you want to hear my bitch ass voice,
I just want to say
I
that
hear it every day, and trust me, it's great.
you're such a bitch. man.
You told me I was bland.
How's that for bland, bitch?
how's that voice for bland?
How you
No.
like them blandles?
Jesus Christ, what was that? I just want to say that if you are listening to this episode and you made it this far, we love you and we appreciate you. And
So it's Dustin and Steve.
yeah, Dustin and Steve, maybe
Probably your
Casey,
dad.
Casey.
Probably
Maybe
my
my dad.
maybe
yeah.
my mom. Just
Yeah, a lot of parents here.
I know, right?
My dad's not listening to shit.
Yeah, your dad quit.
Thanks, Mom and
I
Dad.
pissed him off a lot. So
And neither's my mom, because she doesn't know what a podcast is. So.
we have inappropriate words for your mom. So she doesn't like swearing.
No, she swears a lot. She said cunt in front of me like 4 times the other day.
What?
I got a root canal, and I was sitting in her office, and she was like, cunt this, cunt that.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
I thought your mom was like not about swearing.
Nah, man. She
Okay.
doesn't like beer, but she'll swear.
Oh, speaking about things your parents don't like. Okay.
The podcast is over
Not yet.
today.
It's supposed to be done here.
Not yet.
We said goodbye like 4 times.
I think
This is
that
the Michigan goodbye.
it is a Michigan goodbye.
If that's not the most true statement that has ever been said on the show, I don't know what is.
It's like that meme that's like when you try and say goodbye to your family and then it's like it goes all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, one time.
This is Cara. Anytime we go anywhere,
He knows with my
Oh, I
family we
fucking
can't say
do.
goodbye. We literally
No.
have to leave. We
No.
can't.
that's an
even say goodbye
Italian
to
and a
everyone.
Mexican thing. For
I
sure.
want to say that one episode is going to be an Irish goodbye, and it's just going to end.
cut it off.
It's going to be like mid-sentence, just done.
Yep, gone. And then you hear the outro.
Yep. I'm not even going to fade it in. It's just going to be.
And then there'll be a compilation of all of the episodes that we just cut off, like the end of it, because usually we get like, on
Patreon
good
exclusive
tangents.
content, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I started the best of folder
Oh, a compilation.
of
Stupid shit we
TF4.
said.
Of a lot of stupid shit we said, and it will be posted. Like, I'm gonna make some episodes together. So in the case that we don't have a weekly episode recorded ready to be posted,
Here's a
I'll be
best
able to
of.
post a best of episode so you guys
Yeah.
can go back and listen to. So the newer listeners, which hopefully we'll be getting some,
All three of them.
will be we'll be able to just say, hey,
4.
yeah, we'll go from there.
All right, Mark, get your thought
Yeah,
out.
get out of here.
Anyways,
What about
speaking of
parents?
things your parents don't like, I think at some point for a Patreon exclusive
How is that?
bonus content we should do, the 4 of us should go get a tattoo.
Yes.
Of what?
I don't know, a butt on our butt.
No butt tattoos.
He won't.
I'm
he
I'm
won't
getting
let me
Doodle
get
Bob
tattoo.
next, so that's
Cara
my
is
thing.
getting doodle bob
I'm getting it.
Where?
on her butt.
Maybe on my leg.
Okay.
Okay.
I think.
We could do there. I don't know if there's any here, but they have those tattoo shops where you can like go to a vending machine and it pops out a random tattoo. I think that'd be cool.
I have very strict rules about my tattoos, so
I used to, and now I don't. So
well, I do.
I get it.
and I'm going to continue to get tattoos, which
We should all get.
Your
it.
very strict rule could be that it's meaningful that you get a tattoo with us.
don't
Yeah.
change my fucking
We should.
rules.
We should
Cara.
all get
It
the
should still
TF4
ta-
podcast logo.
Tell me what your rules are. I will find the loophole.
That's the loophole. You.
Yep.
Yeah. You open my loophole.
We should
without
just
me
get a
knowing it.
microphone.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there you go.
I want to get one with your dad. So okay. Yeah, we're gonna keep going here. Sorry. Do we want to talk? We won't talk about this. Never mind. It's cool. We'll end it here. We'll talk off the air.
Irish
sorry
goodbye.
to
Peace out, bitches.
Yeah.
sorry to spoil it.
We'll
but,
have to. Yeah.
We'll talk off
Well,
here.
yeah, we'll talk with him.
Thank you for listening so fucking much. It's really good to be back. I'm Vox.
Yes.
I'm Marcus.
I'm Kara.
And I'm Natasha.
Ugh, I hate you.